All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. How is everybody doing? Hopefully, a little bit better than myself, but we are here. We are checking ish out. Hopefully, the new laptop is working. And we were here. So I got a laptop the other day, but it didn't really do what I wanted it to do. So I had to go and spend twice as much fucking money. We got it. Shout out to Dink Johnson. Welcome to the party. All right. So now that I got you here, let's test some shit out. So first things first, just the basics. We want to share our screen. Check and see if YouTube is YouTubing. Shout out to Lost Explain. Let's give Lost Explain some love. All right. And here.
Welcome to Lost Explained. I would like to mark the completion of my season 1 analysis.
So far, can you hear that? Is the video good? I'll play it again and see if it is lagging or anything like that.
With a special video that presents my personal episode rankings for season 1.
This is, of course,
just my personal list.
Any kind of echo from the video into my mic.
And my personal opinion. I haven't taken any polls, but I encourage everyone to...
Shout out to Grumpy. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you. So apparently this cam isn't as good as the one that was on my laptop from about 8 years ago, but it is better than the one. It's better than the one on the other shitty laptop where it wasn't even we couldn't even move it. Shout out to Manatron. Welcome to the party. So here is what I'm also going to do. I'm going to drop the link. I would love if you don't have to say anything. You don't have to cam up. Just come up, and I just want to see that everything is moving and sliding as we want it. So I'll just keep playing this. Shout out to Lost Explained. I'm currently watching Lost, chronologically lost. Shout out to Glow and Dark. Welcome. Let me pin that. If somebody can come up, you don't have to cam up or anything. I just need to see and make sure that everything is working the way we want it to work. But yeah, chronologically lost is awesome. It's so cool. And to the point where it's not the kind of thing that that I would suggest for anybody who hasn't seen Lost. Like, I just started. So they cut every scene throughout Lost and they put it in chronological order. So it's like to the scene. I remember back when I was watching Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad in order, I was just doing it by the episode. So there'll still be flashbacks and stuff that were out of order. This, they've cut every episode scene by scene by scene. So I'm what? I'm on the 7th episode, but I'm in the 70s when they're in the Dharma Initiative. So very, very cool. Did I miss anybody? No, we good. So, all right. So the video's good. Let's do that. And then, the one thing this is so weird. I don't know what's going on with Canva. So, usually you have, your setup here, and if you want to edit one, you just click on it, and it's supposed to open in a new tab, like it just did. I don't know what happened before. But if I would click on it, that it would just automatically download it. So, all right, let's just be happy that didn't mess anything up. Okay, so that's one more thing. Delete that, and delete that. All right, gang. So that was good. That's why I had this weird thingy for the thumbnail. So I was like, what are what's going on here? I couldn't make a thumbnail. All right. Again, yes. So I'm gonna put a banner that says, please join panel so I can see it works. Please join panel so I can see it works. The link is pinned. Please, please, please just come on up. And again, I just need to see that everything is working and twerking, baby. Working and twerking. Really? They're gonna do that to me? Nope. All right. Just figuring some stuff. Okay, so we got that. Then, all right. So this is working. That's what. Yeah, more. Yeah. Look at the size of the bone that I have to give him, so that he doesn't just step on the fucking computer, so he doesn't destroy it in 10 seconds. It's literally how long I eat it. Get it. And I was like, well, now I don't want it. Get it. There you go. Good boy. Good job. We'll get normal ones, and he'll just fucking chomp it down in 3 minutes. You'll work and twerk. That's what I need. I need y'all. Come up. It doesn't matter if you're gonna talk. It doesn't matter if you're going to cam up or anything right now. I just need to see, like, I just need bodies here, and I need things moving while that is happening. So, here's what moderators. Dick, can you do me a favor and drop a link to the Discord server, because I do not have Discord set up on this computer yet. So that would be very, very helpful. If I get it in the chat before you do, I'm going to be upset. If I get it in the chat before you do, I'm going to be upset. We got Manatron there. I didn't hear anything, but that might be a setting. Manatron, welcome to the party.
Hey, how's it going?
Pretty
Says you
good.
got your testing on your new setup and everything.
Yes, sir. Yeah, so I got I didn't realize how bad like computers are at doing basic computer stuff. And so like I had my other computer is a Dell from like 8 years ago or something. It's got a decent enough camera. I connect. I'm on Discord. I'm sharing videos. I'm doing all that stuff, and everything's working fine. So the fan burned, or the fan went out, and it's starting to like melt the insides of the computer and shit. So I was like, all right, it's working for now, but I'm going to need to replace it.
Yeah, I had a similar situation with my an Asus laptop like forever ago, and the power supply had a short in it, so it shorted out the one of the cooling fans in my laptop. So
those damn cooling fans. That's always it.
I love it, man.
That's always it. Okay, this is when we already have account login. Oh fuck! What's my? No, it should be. I don't remember the. Okay, so while you're here, let's do this. Let's share this. Make sure the chat's moving, and we got the video playing. Boom, 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 boom.
Post their own in the comments, or at least give me your top 5 or 10 episodes from the season.
Type in the chat, guys.
With the exception of one episode, I don't overtly dislike any of the episodes from this season. I just feel that some are less well executed and successful than others.
Yeah,
For
dude.
the purposes of the rankings, I am
treating. Are you not stalking my posts and also trying to pocket watch? As you saw, Walmart is really good, and they delivered in one day. So yes, new laptop. Nice, dude. Yeah, he thinks that just because I have a dad that has money, that my dad just sprinkles money on me. That when things happen in the house, that he's like, oh well, let me just make it rain. Why the fuck would I work a full-time job and be here begging for $2 fucking super chats if I could just get money like that?
Yeah.
Fucking retards.
No, it's just it's always the parasocially obsessed weirdos, so.
Yep, the ones who don't care about me at all, but know everything about everything that I do. Overview, right? Which is my email? I don't remember which email. God damn it. Does anybody know?
Yeah. Well, it's the combination of like, though, going back to what you were talking about earlier, though, with like newer laptops and shit. It's the combination of like that along with Windows 11 just being glorified bloatware, and you have to navigate through like 80 million different things just to get your system running like relatively normally.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Make it make sense. Why would I take what are you saying? Yeah. So that nearly 10K you need for repairs out of the blue. You have that in the bank from being a YouTuber and a part-time busboy. First of all, I'm a full-time dog trainer. And yes, I have savings and credit cards. Just because you're broke and don't know how money works, like, even if you are rich, do you think my dad just has 10K sitting around and like, oh, here you go? You're fucking retarded. No, you absolutely can drop a link. You take it. If you have that wrench, then you take a link, you copy the link, you paste the link, and it's pasted. It's pasted. Okay. Go to account. Here we go. Okay. We're finding it. Account. All right. We got the good email. All right. So let's let this play. Give me a second here. Go for it. Go for it.
Dude, first of all, like, you realize what you're doing is like against TOS, right? You're inciting people to fucking dox, Indian Jesus. That's like against TOS.
That doesn't happen.
If you continue this shit, like, there's no reason why we shouldn't just fucking permaban you from this shit.
I constantly complain about having to drive longer than the hour-long messages. Yeah, let's get rid of them. Let's get rid of him. I let him stay around because he was here earlier, but yeah. Now I don't know what I'm talking about, but the panelist here, you sir, have no idea what you're talking about.
I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm also a content creator, you dipshit. If you Google it right now, doxing creators, doxing people, even in the chat is against YouTube's TOS. You moron.
Yep. That's all right. Shout out to Washu Wash. Welcome. I am in the middle of a shitstorm, but Manatron is helping me here, making sure that my new laptop here is doing all it's doing, because despite the fact that other people are pocket watching, and I've never been shy about the fact that my dad and my family have money. If I was going to lie about it, then I would have just, lied about it, but whatever. This is the last one before he got hit. Much is just mad because I rain on his parade of living a fantasy that people would believe he doesn't live on his daddy's dime. Again, that's why I'm begging for $2 super chats, right? Jesus Christ on a motorbike. All right, one more test here, making sure this is good, and then I want to open the
eating the 2-part pilot as one single episode, as well as the 3-part season finale as one single episode, as that is how they feel when watched together. So without further ado, let's get into the countdown. Whatever the case may be, it will come as no surprise to anyone who has watched my season 1 episode guide that whatever the case may be sits at the very bottom of my list. I had major problems with this episode from the very first time I saw it, because it effectively negates the cliffhangers from the previous episode.
Beautiful.
Man, I need to go back and rewatch Lost. It's been forever since I've...
Did you hear that? I was saying I'm watching chronologically Lost. That is
interesting. Okay, nice.
Yeah, so you actually have to go and find it, and because it's not streaming anywhere, you have to just you have to figure out where to download the torrent. Then you got to torrent the whole thing, and the most frustrating part has been trying to get it on my TV, because I have it on my where's the my hard drive, my SSD, but it's a USB-C, and between the new laptop that I got before this one and the old laptop, there's only one USB-C input. I have a USB-C to regular USB connector, but it doesn't really work the same way. Like, it won't allow me to pull from it, and so that was the most frustrating part. Okay, allow that. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, podcast. So yeah, but yeah, Richard was mad because he's like, "Wait a minute, you had about 10K worth of bullshit happen to you immediately, and you're not out on the street. That must mean that your father paid for everything." Like, no, you know what? I'm sure he will end up throwing me a little
economically illiterate fucking creep.
Yeah, I mean, hey, he's a nice guy. I'm sure he'll be like, okay, yeah, you know, all that stuff happened at once. You didn't expect it. Let me throw you a couple $1,000. Maybe. He's a nice guy. He works hard for his money.
Right, yeah.
But that's not any kind of expectation.
Right. Also, I feel like people like think that, you know, you can just casually drop, even if you have that money, like you can just casually drop that amount of money. Like, yeah, it's not like, yeah.
When I put up just a ranting post to just be like, oh, all this bullshit's happened, da 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 da, and of course he had to comment on it and say that there's no way, because of how much. He's like, how are you paying this? And again, it's like, bro, you think I'm a busboy?
Yeah.
I haven't been at that job for over a year. I've been very. Does anybody not know that I'm a dog trainer that's been here more than once? Has anybody here not heard me complain about driving 45 minutes for an hour-long lesson? I mean, what are we doing? Hey, yeah. Shout out to mention, welcome to the party. If you want to help us out and just hop on panel for a little bit, I pinned the link. I'm just making sure everything is working with the new laptop. But
well, not to mention, dog training is a good gig, man. Like there's good money in that. So like,
not at my company, but it's better than nothing. It's definitely better than nothing. And yeah, I mean, I like it. I definitely have been, could be making a lot more money, but I like having the freedom because I can make my own schedule. And so I don't like to jam pack my training schedule too much, because then it gives me space to to stream whenever. And like, obviously I make more money from the dog training, but the long term I want to be doing
right, yeah, no, totally. But, yeah.
And
but I think there's this kind of like misconception that there's like, it's like, nah, man, like there are plenty of people, a lot of people are invested in their dogs, and like they're willing to, it's just one of those things.
It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's very clear that you could tell by the way that he's talking that he has no idea what he's talking about, that he's mad, that he hates me, that he wants me to be this rich, spoiled little brat, which is weird. Like, why would you even care? Even if that was the case,
yeah.
Like, why does that bother you?
Yeah. Again, it's you get these people that are just parasocially obsessed, basically.
I did not expect, because I mean it's that has been going on for a while, but when I started out and I knew about the concept of parasocial relationships, specifically with YouTubers and stuff, but I expected that I would have to be at like 10K, at least past the stage where I can get to every single chat before it got like weird. Like, I'm just some guy on a laptop in my room, bro.
Right, yeah.
But I don't know. They see your face on the thing, and I think you must be famous. I'm jealous because of all the girls. I'm jealous because my channel's fucking awesome and he's a fucking loser. That's always how it goes, too. You get people who hop in and they're like, oh, okay, what's going on here? I'm interested. Let me hear this out. Agree here, disagree there. Interesting conversation. And then they get to a tipping point where you say one too many things that they don't like, or the one thing that's like their hot button issue. And they're gone. Now they hate you. There's two people. There's him and there's somebody else that very recently, like up until very recently rather, have been normal. And then just constant trolling. She's like, oh, well,
Right.
this. I'm like, this has nothing to do with Trump. This is a post about Morty.
Yeah. It's just like the slightest thing. They just like go full psycho mode.
Weird. Right. So I guess we are good.
But since you kind of brought up Trump, did you see that he was giving a statement on Fox talking about how they hadn't reached a deal with Iran yet?
From when? Today?
I think it was fairly recent. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I'm trying to remember, but
we got this from 11 hours ago.
We've had a number of substantive discussions with the Iranians. That's the good news. The bad news is that we have not reached an agreement.
A no deal. That's the word from Vice President J.D. Vance after negotiations between the United States and Iran wrapped up in Pakistan. After nearly an entire day's worth of talks, Vance was seen arriving at Pakistan's airbase this morning.
The vice president saying while the two sides had a number of good discussions, they simply did not come to an agreement, as you heard.
It was a press conference itself? No, that's 5 days ago.
no, it was he was doing a phone interview with somebody at Fox. But basically, like, the gist of it was like, granted, if you can find it, then, but yeah, at one point, it was funny. At one point, he says that, you know, they hadn't reached the talks went great, except that they weren't able to make a deal. And I'm like, well, isn't the whole point of the talks is to make a deal? Like, it's like, there's just like, there's things like, there's like little funny things like that with Trump where you're like,
all right, this is 4 hours ago.
Iran says those historic talks with the United States failed because of a lack of trust. Tensions in the Middle East are at a boiling point, but the fragile 2-week ceasefire in Iran is still holding for now. Lucas Tomlinson is live in Islamabad, Pakistan, where those talks took place. Lucas.
John, Fox News has just received Vice President J.D. Vance's final offer to the Iranian delegation here in Islamabad. It's a series of 6 points that amount to red lines, according to U.S. officials. It reads as follows, quote, end all uranium enrichment, dismantle all major nuclear enrichment facilities, retrieve highly enriched uranium, accept a broader peace, security, and de-escalation framework that includes regional allies, end funding for terrorist proxies, Hamas, Hezbollah, and the Houthis, and fully open the Strait of Hormuz, charging no tolls for passage. Vice President J.D. Vance left Pakistan early this morning after negotiating with the Iranians throughout the night, John. Some think Iran's delegation wasn't senior enough to accept a deal with Vance. They've taken their offer back to Tehran with the threat of the resumption of the war beginning if the ceasefire ends next week. Speaking to reporters after the marathon negotiating session, Vice President Vance said one of the key red lines in these talks is ending Iran's nuclear program.
The simple fact is that we need to see an affirmative commitment that they will not seek a nuclear weapon and they will not seek the tools that would enable them to quickly achieve a nuclear weapon.
With the USS George H.W.
I hate to say it, but this is pretty much exactly the reasoning that the Dave Smiths of the world were giving why we shouldn't get into this conflict, or at least we shouldn't push it. Where are you on all this stuff?
I think there's an element of Iran not wanting to completely play their hand. I think there's going to be some other, there's probably some other stipulation in the deal that they're wanting to make out, some compromises that they're not wanting to completely make fully public yet. That's kind of my takeaway from all this. But I mean, again, who knows? Maybe it is Iran just saying, "Hey, like, we want a nuclear weapon. That's the end all be all of it." But There was something Trump mentioned too. He was talking about how the UAE and Kuwait and the Saudis and everything were pretty much kind of in agreement with, you know, with the U.S.'s stance in principle of just Iran, shouldn't be allowed to pursue a nuclear weapon. So I think that is going to be a pretty heavy. I think that's going to be a heavier factor than like necessarily anything we necessarily have to bring to the table per se, if that makes sense.
What do you think about, a lot of people are saying that, like with the 12-day war, it made sense for Iran to kind of back down and be like, all right, we don't want to do this anymore. But then we go and bomb them, or Israel, whoever goes and bombs them. And now when asking for a ceasefire, it's like, well, last time you guys bombed us, so now we at least have to do something. And that seems to be an aspect of why they are hesitant to make a deal, because they don't want to look stupid.
Right. Well,
much as I love that Wii Sports video from the White House, maybe that's back to the White House.
Yeah, no,
Go ahead.
I think like, so the issue is, and I agree with a lot of people, like, it's going to be really hard because whatever Israel is going to do is by default going to be linked back to us, even though 99% of the time, whatever Israel does, it's of their own. Like, people think that, America has, and to a degree, there is the element of big brother, little brother. There is that element to it. But Israel's ultimately going to pursue what's in their interests in that region more so than we only have a certain amount of influence with them. You know what I mean? So
yeah, it seems like
anything they do is inevitably going to be linked back with us.
It seems like they're the dog wagging us the tail. It's supposed to be the other way around.
Right.
But I think this might be. The phone call. Let's see. What do we got here?
Will help bring Iran back to the negotiating table.
They haven't left the bargaining table. I predict they come back and they give us everything we want.
Yeah.
And I told my people, I want everything. I don't want 90%. I don't want 95%. I told them, I want everything.
Vance negotiated with the Iranian
well,
delegation.
that was part of it, but
yeah. So let's see.
They might have like unlisted it. I don't know.
Was it that bad? Oy vey.
I mean, there were parts of it that were very typically rambly from him. So it would not surprise me if they.
34 minutes. Jesus. 1 day ago.
First, this Fox News alert: President Trump is getting ready to leave the White House to head for Florida. Let's listen.
We win. We've totally defeated that country. And so let's see what happens. Maybe they make a deal, maybe they don't. From the standpoint.
Before. But yeah, so I mean, it's definitely another reason for people to be, hey, shout out to Kelly Green. Welcome. Do me a favor, Kelly. I pinned the link. Jump on up here and just so we make sure that like getting multiple people up here doesn't fuck up the stream like it did on the other computer. You don't even got to talk or cam up or anything. I just want to make sure that people are here. And yeah, a lot of the people in general, like I have my own frustrations with, what's been going on with Trump and how far away I feel like he is from the guy that I voted for. But in this area specifically, it seems like he keeps playing up the deal makers. Like, oh, I'm going to make a deal. And he's playing on this. Trust me, I'm going to get it done. And then it keeps not getting done. It's like in the past, I want to trust that, but I don't know, man.
Well, I think the difference between, and we were kind of talking about this last time when I was on, but like I think the difference between the North Korea situation in this is that Iran has a lot more pull and also just a lot more money on top of that to continue to pursue what they want to do. Well, that and North Korea already had nuclear weapons, kind of. But even in that event, they were still very limited in terms of what they could necessarily do in terms of, sway, in terms of like a bargaining position. I think Iran still has a lot more leverage, in terms of what they can do. And I think also what they're trying to accomplish is some type of, probably, if I had to guess, this is just pure speculation, so I could be completely wrong on this, but some type of security guarantee from like, in fact, I think they stated that they wanted some type of security guarantee for no strikes against Hezbollah from Israel. I know that's like something they really, really want.
Right, and we could be like, I'm good, but they're doing what they want to do. You think we got control over them, but
yeah, exactly. And seeing that ties back in. It's like, we can, from our end of things, we could say, yeah, okay, well, we at the very least are willing to do that, but that's going to involve an entirely new player into the conversation. And when you involve an entirely new player into the conversation, they're going to want other sorts of demands, and they're going to want other guarantees, and so it's going to be a huge complex process. So if it boils down to, if a major aspect of this boils down to they want some type of security guarantee for Hezbollah, then obviously that's going to delay things out for a while.
Yep. All more good things. Good things on good things on good things. Kelly Grain, how we doing?
How's it going, man?
In the chat, so I can make sure it's all working.
I was getting ready to go to the store. I figured I'd help you out. I said, man, I'll get on with you.
Looks quick. Looks with it. Looks smooth. Bringing that up. Because that was the thing. It was the chats and everything. Once the chat started rolling, then the other laptop slowed down. I will say though that oh, is that your end or my end? Oh Jesus. Whatever, it'll be back in a second. But I will say that working with Walmart has been really convenient. I didn't think that I would need like a big gaming thing. So I was like, all right, let me just go to Walmart because I got the app. They got the the returns and all that stuff. And so it is. I already have everything between the quick delivery to get here and then the ease of having the barcode to just scan what they have. And I'll just be able to get it done. All right, so that's.
I use a lot of online ordering
might
lately.
need a thing here, but all right, gentlemen. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I just want to make sure all this stuff is working, and it does seem like we are doing well. Anything you want to shout out to the people?
Shout out to Lutch. Shout out to fucking Lutch. He's a boss.
Again.
Yeah.
All right, is Confluence on? I'm gonna see if this thing can handle a panel. That's what we really need to see, a full
That's
panel.
So you're saying you're on a different computer right now?
Yeah. So the original laptop that I've been using forever, the cooling fan burnt out a while ago, and so I've just been riding it. And getting an error message every single time I turn it on. But I was like, I'll deal with that eventually. But then it was like starting to give messages with like the hard drive and this and that. And so I looked it up, and because parts right now are so goddamn expensive, when I saw, a $550 computer that looked like it had similar specs to the one I was already using from Walmart, I was like, yeah, bing, bang, boom. But then I come home, it doesn't have enough USB ports. It doesn't have, and even just when we had multiple people up here, I could not the lag was on. I couldn't even deal with it because it just it wasn't moving fast enough. And
so you bought this used or bought it new?
No, new.
Can you return it?
Yeah,
Can you
yeah,
return it?
yeah. So that's
I got-
that's what I was saying about Walmart is they already gave me they already got the barcode. So I just have the box here, put everything back in the box, scan, bang, bang, boom.
Bro, my gaming laptop that I just got, I browsed on Marketplace for a little bit. You may have some better options. I got a gaming laptop with an RTX 4050, super sick graphics card. It's got I upgraded it to 32 gigs of RAM. It had 16, but I got it for $400, and it's got a 13th gen i5 processor. I don't know what you're running on yours, but
yeah, that was that. I was talking to ChatGPT about it. The other one I had that had an i5, and I for some reason ChatGPT thought I was using OBS on my laptop. I don't know where it got that idea, but all the suggestions it was making, it was like, oh yeah, well since you use OBS on your laptop. I don't use OBS. I mean,
yeah, you're just using StreamYard basically for most of your stuff.
Yeah, because it's browser based. It uses up a lot more. But again, I don't know that like it works like that. The laptop, when I bought that laptop, it wasn't for any gaming type of purposes. It doesn't have any red, green, blue coloring. It doesn't have anything like that. It's just a regular ass laptop. And the camera is better than this camera. I look significantly darker than I usually do when I'm up here.
Like, I can see the
washed out
of it
because it can't. The webcam sucks. It's off center too. I don't like it. Or no, it's not off center, but it's the light that shows you that it's on is on the left side, and on the other one, it was on the right side. So when I'm looking like off center.
Do you have an extra phone by chance? Do you
an extra what?
By chance, do you have a extra phone that sits in a drawer that has a good camera, like an iPhone 10 or anything?
No, I have my old Samsung Galaxy. Yeah.
Which version is that?
That one I think is the 20, if I'm not mistaken. This one's 22.
So check this out, bro. You need to look at Get Droid Cam. That's what I use for my camera is Droid Cam. I use NVIDIA Broadcast behind it for the blur. But look up Droid Cam. It's an awesome app. You might be able to, at least for now, check out Droid Cam. It connects your phone. You just put it up there.
Bro, I'm 10K. I'm almost 10K in the hole. All right. And despite what fucking Richard Harding thinks, Daddy ain't paying that. So right now,
Cam's free. Droid Cam's free. You just use your old phone. I was saying use your phone as a webcam. I'm using an S22 right now. So my webcam right now is an S22 with Droid Cam. It's a wireless.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Latency.
That's kind of how. That's how I had it set up when I wasn't able to go through the chat on the laptop that I was using, and because I have this stand right here. Hold on, I'll pop in on my phone here. Is it gonna go back to the same one? God damn it! It always does this. And then I had it up here, and make sure the volume's down so I don't blow y'all's ears out. And then I muted myself on the computer. And myself. Damn it! Okay, take two.
Getting trapped in the void.
Testing. Nope.
Oh.
It's got something.
You get the point. I had the thing that was fine, but I had the camera over here. And I'll mute that, right?
Hey, there we go.
That looks good. I can't hear you, obviously, because you muted it, but
yeah. And then obviously you were getting the other, the other thing. But I was going through here. I was doing the chat from here, and
nice.
There we go. All right. But yeah, and then I prefer like they do this weird thing on the mobile version of StreamYard when you're pulling up chats and stuff, where like if I pull up this chat, like it just highlights it in the place where it is. But like let's say if I scroll up and I pull up something, what the mobile app does, like now it's a different thing where I can scroll up and down the chat like you would normally do. But on mobile, for whatever reason, whichever chat that you have highlighted is like pinned to the bottom of the chat, and so you have to like undo it to go back to scroll. I don't know. So I do the desktop version on my phone. It's a whole fucking thing.
Yeah,
but
cool. Like I said, if you do consider that, the cool thing is you can always insert that Droid Cam as a source. You don't have to run anything on your phone aside from that thing. And so you might look at that if you're trying to supplement for now some of the quality adjustments. It might be pretty cool. And you can USB it. You don't have to do it wireless. You just USB your phone, download Droid Camera on your phone, on your computer. You open them both up, and they give you a little like
that's
IP
all
address.
free?
You can do it free, yeah. Up to like 720p. I think and that's pretty much good enough. That'll be way better than where you're at. And then I think it's like
the other
$6
option is just to get another USB webcam. You know, like that. That's what I use downstairs. It's 4K. I mean, I don't.
Yeah. That one is good. That one is really good. What version is that?
That's the I want to say it's the Logitech Brio i8 or something like that. But I was just worried about like whether that's going to draw a lot of RAM from the computer.
I don't know if it would do any more than, depending on what quality you're running at, because a lot of the time I think from OBS to StreamYard they're only hitting you at 1080 anyway at its max. I don't think it runs at 4K, so it may, if you're hitting it at 1080 at least, but I don't know. It should be pretty coherent with your webcam that's already running. It just switches the video source. It should be close. I think. I might be wrong. I don't know.
How much RAM is in your new laptop?
Let's see. How do I?
You can hit Windows key and just type specs, or hit just do that.
System information
or Control Alt Delete.
So we've got. Wait, can I share this? That'll be a lot easier if I can just share this instead. Hold on. Let's see.
It'll show your RAM and Control Alt Delete too.
Can you see this?
That's your processor. i7. Oh, okay, you got a 14 Gen i7. That's nice. Fucking press Control Alt Delete and then press Task Manager and then
Task Manager usually shows your amount of memory and stuff.
Yeah.
Task Manager. All right, so we get rid of that. And
I said you can Control Alt Delete it to go there if you want. Shoot the fucking thing up.
Boom. There we go.
And then on the left side, there should be in that little, maybe that one. Yeah, there you go. Memory, 16 gigs. Probably DDR5, I would assume. It probably don't tell you. It's fine.
I mean, 16 gigs. I mean, yeah, that's
pretty standard. If you can get more, I would. Simultaneous, like if you do run like, which you're not right now, but OBS or any simultaneous program, RAM is like the size of your table that you get to work on, so you can put more stuff out at once. But you know, and you can always use that to see how much RAM you're using, so you can kind of gauge that. Run some of your programs, run that resource manager, and then it'll show you how much RAM you're using at any given time. So if you're like trying to run StreamYard and do some different shit, pull up your browser, you can see like, is this 16 gigs limiting me anyway, or is my processor or whatever? So watch those live. You may already know that. I'm not trying to tell you anything you don't know, just in case. But
no, there's a lot I don't know. That's the fucking problem here. That's the fucking problem.
That's a nice little resource. You can gauge it yourself that way. You go, oh, this is maxing out. You can see it'll say 100% or whatever if it is, and you're like, oh shit. Well, the things I'm doing are not good enough for my RAM or good enough for my processor or whatever.
And that's again just such a frustrating aspect of all this is that never before have I like the same thing with the gaming stuff that why I eventually did go with OBS downstairs. It's like why can't this shit just be simple? Why? I know that it can't be that I know that it can't be that complicated to make it simple. I know that there's too much money in them, whoever the fuck them is, making this shit.
You need was it Copilot? Yeah, we need to integrate Copilot and everything.
The fuck is that?
Need to put AI and shit.
Oh hell no! Oh hell no! I mean, unless it would actually fucking do the thing. Like, I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. If I could get AI to be like, oh, why are my fucking sounds echoing? Actually, while you're here, is this let's use
emotional damage.
Was that echoed for you two?
Try it again.
No, it was fine on our end. No, I don't know about the stream though.
That's
the
what I'm
stream
saying. I think.
Let me check the stream.
Emotional damage.
Let's see.
Let's see.
Okay, we're good then. Gang. Because then the other thing was the intro song for I couldn't upload it into StreamYard because it was echoing. Let me try this one.
Yeah, that seems good on my end.
Yep.
Let's go! They fixed it! Gang! Maybe it was the old computer. Who knows?
Yeah.
No echo.
Yeah, I just went back. I just went back to the stream too to unmute it, and it was fine there too. So.
Nice. Because
Yeah.
that's the in the beginning. I don't know how often you guys see. Shout out, David.
God. Bro, I was so frustrated with your fucking Stream Deck and shit. We were trying to go and troubleshoot all your sound issues back in the day.
That's everything, bro. That's everything.
Bro.
Do you see what I mean? Why is it everything go like that?
I started out like, there's probably a simple answer, and we had to go through all the settings. He's like, yeah, I did that, or he would do it. And I'm just like, there's no fucking way that didn't work. It was so abstract. Like, I'm pretty decent with hardware and software, being able to get things to go together. I am very surprised when I saw Lutch going through it. I was like, son of a bitch. He had a fucking rough time, dog. You were just fucked by the computer universe there.
Yep, and that's just how it always is with electronics. I remember since I was a kid, whenever we would get, like, whether it was Christmas or birthday or something, you get a new fucking gadget or video game thing or whatever it is. Just hold on. Let's make sure it works first before we get excited, because at least, not like every time, but at least 6.5 to 7 out of every 10 times we'd get something. We'd have to return it or we have to get it fixed. I don't understand why the tech guys hate me so much. But
it's the Force. It's the Force, young Skywalker. You have to use it.
Speaking of which, May the 4th, guys. May the 4th. So in the same way you just saw how I had my phone set up and we had a different thing. I'm going to be going live on YouTube from my phone. And then I'm going to pin a Rumble link where we're going to be watching the original trilogy of Star Wars. Never seen it before. And I need you guys there to fill in the lore dumps and all that stuff.
Are you watching the despecialized, the original versions, or the special, the stuff with the CG put in?
Whatever's on WeFlix, whatever's on the free site, or I mean, I guess whatever's available. Because sometimes like on Amazon it blocks it out. So we'll see. Whatever we can get. But, all right, gentlemen, thank you so very, very much for hanging out. I am very happy that we have at least one more thing settled. Stick around. I am gonna go hop on this panel and just see, how it handles and all that stuff. But I ain't gonna be up too late. I mean, that's what I always say, but I'm not gonna be up too late. The other thing is that Jesse on Fire was supposed to be here on Tuesday to talk about his theory on Charlie Kirk still being alive, but then he got a big guest for Tuesday, so he's pushing that. We'll get there eventually. And I'm going to check out some of his stuff and see if maybe we can do a little bit of an introductory thing instead of having him come on and be like, okay, so here's the deal. Then we'll have watched some stuff and be like, yo, so, okay, what about this? What about that? And what about that? So we'll see. Gentlemen, thank you so very, very much. Until next time, that'll be tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. Well, actually, I'm not out of here. You're out of here. Peace.
Later.
Thank you, Manatron. Very much appreciated for all of your guys' help. Oh, yeah. Oh, did I tell you the heat stopped working too? So we had the fucking the guys come over because the AC wasn't working and they had to replace the whole thing. That was $6,000 for that bullshit. Then the last couple nights, it was like 50-ish at night. And it felt a little bit cooler. But I'm like, is this in my head? I'm not sure. Because the heat was going off, but it wasn't getting... And so I have a little space heater here, and I was turning that on. And last night, I realized, I was like, wait a minute. The air is blowing, but the heat itself it's not kicking on. So I don't know what they did. But before I had no AC, and now we have no AC and no heat. So that's life. That's life for me right now. Anyway, all right, let's see what there's a chit-chatting about.
School, so I'm like extremely biased because I've always been fascinated with music and like obsessed with it to some degree. But one thing I always found, and this isn't unique just to music, but it is one of those things that was independently developed across cultures, like cultures that had no way of contacting each other, like to the most ancient like archaeological things that we have. They're like little stone instruments and shit. So it's like that to me has always been an interesting one, because like just strictly from like an evolutionary standpoint, like it seems like there's not a good explanation as to why music is so integral to our lives. And then, I'm sorry, I know this is a little bit of a rant, but it's something I'm like very interested in. Music. There's a book called it's written by the same guy. He has two of them. The first one's called "This Is Your Brain on Music." It's a really good book. He's like a
I've read that, yeah.
Nice. All right, let's hop in. Hopefully it doesn't all descend into madness. Well, actually, it's totally fine if it descends into madness. Just YouTube. Do that. Oh Jesus. Okay, hold on. Okay, so we got another sign in. Can you see this? You can't see this, right? Okay, I'll let that play.
Yeah, he's like a neuroscientist. I think he teaches at McGill. He made that one, and then another one called like "This Is Your Brain," or sorry, like your life in 6 songs or something like that. Or maybe it was 10,000 songs. I can't remember, but it was one of those things where it was like he makes all these the neurological, like with brains and brain scans and a bunch of scientific shit. Like he explains, like music still doesn't quite make sense as to. Like, have you ever done that thing where you've heard literally like a second and a half of a song, and you just instantly you know what song it is? You just hear that opening drum, or you hear that opening notes, and you just know the song. And so he's like, why does the human mind put so much energy and so much capacity, which is a finite thing, into like remembering those types of things? Like, why are those neural pathways so strong when I guess more logistically speaking, why isn't that going towards like, securing food or whatever your day-to-day life? Like, why aren't you remembering like using those brain cells for something else? So like, yeah, music is just like a very powerful thing in our lives, and I just love exploring as to like why, because there hasn't great explanation. It just kind of is one of those things. So yeah.
Well, that's what. Have you guys seen Stranger Things?
I have not seen. I saw the first.
I gotta get
in the first 3 seasons. I haven't watched anything past the 4th.
Well, it's not really a spoiler, but there's some type of, I'll keep it vague, some type of powerful, entity that is like gets into people's minds and like will do untoward things. And one of the main plot points is that like someone's favorite song will like stop that from happening. That the music is like the powerful thing to like bring them up, and you even see that. I think there's stuff with like coma patients, right? Where it's like there's like things. Yes. Same with people with Alzheimer's. I know that one's true. That it's like if someone's in like a bad episode, they can be like kind of brought back or calmed with like a song that maybe they don't even remember that they necessarily know consciously. But
there's videos or people with like dementia and things, or they're just dissociated, and they'll play a song from like their childhood or something like around there. Usually, like there's a bunch of different signs, but like, around your teens or whatever, it's like the most impactful. And they play songs from that, and you'll see their light, even though they can't communicate, you'll see their faces light up. and like that recognition. And it's like these are people with brain damage or severe like dementia, like neurologically I guess compromised, if you want to, for lack of a better term.
All right. Okay. Share here. Boom. The Indian Jesus, aka Lutch, here to resurrect the second coming. See, if I had, I like dark mode, but you can see compare. It's too big. But I'm saying like because of the fact that there's all that white here versus here. Saying a little extra. All right. Oh Jesus, what are you saying here? Pomegranates of Persia. Okay. Did you hear about the Arabic number system being pushed in schools? Yep. Yeah, that's a good one to troll the dummies. No, so it's just a worse the webcam. It's just not as good of a webcam, and so it's not bringing in as much of the light. I have this light on. Actually, what if we turn this off? Yeah. So now you can see, and then if I go back to the white, you can see like I look relatively normal, but the ability for the computer to pick up all that light is a little bit different. All right, let's do it. Where we at?
Want to realism. Yeah. I saw this talk by this professor. I think he was on Rogan. Which, but he was saying
I would, but
Well, he was saying like the forefront of AI right now. The original thing, it's not LLMs, but it was pushed in algorithms, and it's designed to one, keep your attention, and two, like sell you shit. And he's like all this investment, all this money is being put into like how to deceive ourselves. So like we're training machines.
Yeah, we're training machines to deceive us on the nth degree.
Yes, exactly. Like how to optimally deceive us, and like that for me was like a chilling statement because I was like, yeah, you're kind of right.
It's honestly we are the stupidest race in existence. The fact that we're still alive somehow it's evidence of how little capacity we've had to kill ourselves. That's the only thing.
It's not for lack of trying. That's true.
Yeah.
How are you doing, gentlemen? Real quick, can I just get a mic test and a view test? Everything good? I'm on my new laptop here.
Yeah,
let me talking.
Yeah,
you sound good. Your lighting looks like shit though.
Yeah, the light. 8 years old. That other laptop, and the camera is way better. This is a brand new gaming laptop. So I think I'm just gonna get another webcam, or maybe I just don't even care enough. I don't know, because I have the studio downstairs, so people know. Maybe this is a little bit more.
You're too cool for school. It's okay. We get it.
Yeah. Yep. Word up. Word.
How you doing today, Lutch?
Shout out to. It's been a minute since I've had calmness. Like, did I tell you that not only did the AC go out, so I needed to spend $6,000 for them to replace the whole thing, and then the heating wasn't working either.
Oh damn!
After you had a lot of shit happen at the same time.
Just one thing after another, after another.
Lutch, I was hoping you would have been here. Freaking
shout out, no name.
Weekend. I think it was last weekend. I bought on an impulse. I bought a tiny thing of Fireball. This is the empty bottle, and I was waiting for you to join. You never did, so I had to drink it without you.
Oh,
I bought it specifically so that we could enjoy Fireball together.
I could get a drink right now.
Well, I don't have any. I'm not drinking.
He used it all. He drank it.
I drank it all. Next week, though. Next week, I'm going to buy a little thing of Fireball again, and you should stop by so we can take a shot together, okay?
Sounds like a plan. But what happened? I hopped in. When I hopped in, you guys were talking about Stranger Things and music, and I was like, "Ooh, I want to get it on this."
Yeah, that was kind of me. They were talking about like I guess more of like lack of a better term, like the eternal soul, or like, and then I sort of just jumped in and started pivoting to music and then AI and shit. So I was kind of just all over the place, but just just bullshitting, just the usual stuff.
But yeah, basically, what's if there's like a fundamental difference between humans and animals? and what that is.
Right.
Obviously, me as a religious person, I think that there is a fundamental difference. And so that's, I think music and art and this stuff.
Even as a non-religious person, I think there's a difference. Yeah.
But I guess you probably think that difference is just, like I said, like if you gave that ape enough neural pathways or whatever, would he be like a human? I would say no. I would say he's missing the spiritual component.
Right.
And so you would probably go appeal Confluence more to like the soul, that we have a soul.
Kind of, yeah. What we were talking about is how, because in Genesis it talks about the spirit of God being breathed into matter, and then it says that an Adam became a living soul. And so I was saying that I think the soul is the confluence of spirit and matter. So I think animals, like the way I use soul, I know like soul has different meanings. The way I tend to think about it, I would say like animals have souls to some degree, but not in like, they don't, they're missing that spirit element, because I don't think they're purely like mechanistic, but I think, they're missing some type of spirit that is causing that pure blending to happen.
Sorry, I remember my point now, because I brought up the AI thing to basically say that like if there was some sort of quote unquote sentience, we may not be able to recognize it. I think somewhat similarly for animals, that because like there are things we will always anthropomorphize experiences. Like there are certain like ducks, for example, like we would say that they procreate in considering what we would call grape, and there are species that only copulate that way. So like that to us is a very like, in human terms, that's like one of the most immoral.
It's untoward.
Right? Yeah, it's very untoward. But if that's like a mechanistic thing of this species, or there's like tons of examples, like otters do horrible things to baby seals. I won't even get into it. You can Google it. But like, so I'm not in like a moral realm. I don't think we could use moral language, but I think that like some sort of I guess like layers of like a cognition or something, we can only ever understand it in human terms, right? So I think that will always be a gap in knowledge in terms of like we're gonna apply our human understanding onto these things because we can't help it. It's like the lens that we see everything through. Yeah, otters. Do not get me started on otters. All right, they're fucking adorable.
Are they the otter?
They're worse than dolphins.
So where are you guys on evolution?
I don't think we've brought up evolution yet, but
evolution is real.
Evolution.
You just like, what's my opinion?
Evolution is real.
Let's go clockwise, snakewise. So I'll start with you, Lech.
I obviously believe in evolution as a confirmed scientific theory, which is not the same as a hypothesis, but yes. That doesn't mean the origin of life. Yeah. But once life is there, evolution is real. Alex.
Yeah, I think anyone who doesn't believe in evolution is a moron.
I concur with both Indian Jesus and Alex.
Right, Big Soda.
Okay, so
that's Big Soda.
I
was about to say.
I'm gonna spitball here because I don't know. I've gotten to a little bit of evolution and everything, and I've heard the counter arguments of people like Andrew Wilson and stuff like that. So I'd say, broadly speaking, I don't think that humans came from fish. I don't believe we originated from the sea. I don't believe there's these massive changes in evolution where one species becomes something totally different. I think there's something as like microevolution where species have small adaptations that changes over time. But I don't think I believe that humans originated from apes. So I think that you could probably convince me on microevolution, but I don't think I believe in like this massive changing of species, like that's described in the way evolution describes it.
I don't. So
hey, no crosstalk. Don't forget about Confluence. Confluence gets to talk.
Wait, do you even matter? Do you even matter?
I do matter. I'm not
he
just.
He does matter.
I would say I believe in evolution, but the way I see it, I think there has to be some type of theistic evolution.
Otters for the win.
again, not a biologist, obviously. But the way I see things, I don't think if you just had it with no divine intervention at all, I don't think that we would see these complex emergent properties happen. But I know people are going to disagree on that. But I have two things. I'll say them quickly. One, I think it's possible that God directly intervenes with the process of evolution in a more traditional theistic evolutionary sense. Or my second one, which I think is more likely, and I think Section actually was saying this today, which was like based. I think he was saying this in when we were playing Silksong, that God is so fully indwelling his creation that that there is something even in like the baseline amoeba or whatever that is causing it to seek sentience, that there is something like baked into that. Because I fully deny that it's random and just luck and all this stuff. I think maybe there's something baked in life itself that is causing it to go upward. That's like part of the design that it's meant to flow toward. That there's something inside that on like a teleological level. Oh, good to see you, Vibe.
So can you explain, I think this is Big Soda, aka Futoy, saying that you believe in microevolution, but not humans came from apes. Can you explain to me what is the difference between what's the difference between microevolution and macroevolution in your eyes?
Okay. Microevolution would be a very small adaptation, as to say that we can now survive in different climates, or we've grown in brain power or something like that to a, I guess, microscopic scale. But I would say, like, I don't believe we have a clean line from humans to apes. So I don't believe in, I guess, that we originated from apes. I think there would be a divine intervention that happened that separates.
But I'm just mechanistic. What I'm trying to determine. Well, I'll give you the context of what I'm asking, because many what you're referring to as microevolution is evolution. That's what makes the macroevolution, the microevolution that you're referring to. If you just keep doing it and it keeps happening, it becomes the evolution that we all talk about.
Well,
that's the theory, but
is it all just microevolutions? I thought there was a difference between microevolution and macroevolution. So it'd be like massive changes a massive change
talk about
coming from
microevolution. What they're talking about is evolution of microbes. Right?
Well, I mean,
no.
My dad talks about that, and I think
that's a different thing though. When people say microevolution, they mean small adaptive changes. But then what the evolutionists would say is that that's all evolution is. We just call it macro when it's a bunch of micro steps and it becomes big enough that then we're like, that's macroevolution. And so but there actually is no like distinguishing line.
And so when we bring up specifically that humans came from fish or come from apes, then it seems to give a false idea of what the theory is actually saying. It's not saying that a monkey turned into a human. It's not saying a monkey gave birth to a human. It's saying over millions and millions and millions and millions of generations, not just years, over millions of generations, there's microevolution here, microevolution here, microevolution here, and it splits off. And so you get microevolution all the way down and then all the way down. And so both orangutans and humans and spider monkeys, they all have a common ancestor. We didn't turn into it. But
at some point, logically, there was something that would have been called a non-human ape, and it gave birth to a human. That has to happen at some point.
No. Here, okay.
I have a theory. I can refine my argument.
This is the same thing as saying, well, I mean, one day that toddler did become an adult.
Well, what I would argue is that a species wouldn't evolve into another species. A species would be like the way I would view microevolution is like something that happens small in our species that wouldn't bring us from one species to another.
Information system has equal.
So
they don't understand what we're saying.
First of all, even Darwin wasn't really saying that people evolved from apes. It was the example he gave when they were asking what he meant by evolution, and that turned into a what do you call that when you say when you pretend like what someone said was them being serious about it? I can't remember what that's called.
Sarcastic or
No, it's a straw man, like creating the worst version of taking the stupidest thing of someone's argument, making it into.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That's mostly where that came from. That isn't to say that there aren't people who think that happened that way. It's just that even Darwin wasn't trying to make that argument.
Right? Could I throw something in here? And Vibe, if you want to jump in, feel free. Because I know you haven't said anything. But I've heard this idea expressed. I'm curious what you guys think about it. So when we think of evolution, we think, or I guess even I think of this, it's simple things that lead to complexity. And we see this sort of reflected in a lot of aspects of like, not even just evolution, but I guess like the universe. If we think of like atoms, how they contribute to like chemistry and things, but like sticking to evolution, simple celled organisms that become more complex over time, right? And so I've heard this thing where it said that there's this weird, to me it seems like an odd leap, because by putting God before all of these things, or I guess maybe contained within them, God is like one, a very like simple, timeless concept, but also this maximally complex thing that had this ability. And so I've heard it discussed that like it sort of doesn't follow if we ourselves as humans
that's
are
why they try to separate.
Complex. If something had created us or created this thing, there's nothing to say like why we are not more complex than the thing that created us, just based on like how everything else seems to work in the universe.
It seems
like, does that make sense? I understand if you disagree, but I thought that concept was interesting.
Yeah, but it's simple. So simple things can become simple or complex based on the need in their environment when we talk about evolution, right? Mm-hmm. So a microorganism may become more complex because it needs to be able to defeat an immune system, but it may become more simple if there's not enough of a need to do that, and there is some level of requirement for it to sustain itself when nutrients are low or things like that, right? So
I think that adaptation itself is a complexity. Like even species saying like they lose the ability to see or their eyes go away, some people might see that as like a step backwards, but like it's actually increasing in complexity to be able to adapt to that environment and to that. So anything beyond the single-celled organism, I think, because I talked when Confluence said of like this thing that's driving towards this thing, or like I can't remember how you phrased it, but that's what it reminded me of like that same sort of push. To me, like there seems to be some sort of push for simple things to tend towards more complexity.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think I wouldn't. There is,
but I don't
that blueprint type plan.
Sure, but I don't put it as like an intelligent design type of thing, or like some sort of like willful process. I just think that seems to be a feature of, again, not just evolution, but like other aspects of reality.
Yeah, but why? But I guess like, why do you think that is? Why does all reality seem to like tend toward order in a universe driven by entropy? Like,
sure,
doesn't that point to some freaking creator?
I don't want
to
contradict myself immediately, but to Alex's point, just because that appearance exists does not mean that there is more than that, right? Like we want to assign that meaning to it, but that does not mean that there has to be that.
Yeah, but you even said all of like even with chemistry, we see like chemical evolution or whatever, where you have like where elements used to be. Like we think it was just like hydrogen, and
The origin of life is a different conversation than the theory of evolution.
Yeah. Abiogenesis is separate. No one's saying they're the same thing, but
but you're saying that even about a creator, maybe, but that's not relevant to the process. Maybe.
No, you're misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm saying if we look at all of reality and we see that chemicals even have a tendency to form more complex chemicals, and all of matter itself, like even outside of it. So if we see this in cells, we see it in molecules, we see it in like the whole universe. I'm not saying the creation of life specifically. I'm just saying does that not point that there is some intelligence baked into the whole system? If everything is going in that direction, then it's like, why is it going in that direction? It seems like intelligence is like hardwired into even molecules that are life.
I wouldn't call it intelligence.
We should be panpsychics if you think about it.
Like, what's the factor pulling all this into it?
Yeah.
What's giving it motion?
Well, again, I think
what if we say
for me, what seems to not follow is that we're if we follow that logic, then we're assigning some infinitely complex being. Again, God is sort of described in two ways. He's, if he's omniscient, omnipresent. We don't have to go down like that all those landmines that exist with those words. But I'm just saying that like God is seen as like a very simple, timeless thing, right, outside of space and time, or depending however you want to define it. But then we're also saying that it's an infinitely, like, maximally complex thing to give rise to these things. So
Well, okay.
so I guess my overall point is, like, we're saying that something that is extremely complex is then responsible for these things that we're agreeing start as very simple things and then progress. So wouldn't it follow that we are therefore
No, that really it wouldn't make any difference, because if you look at humans and even what we created, most of our initial creations were simple and only become complex after the fact. Yes, I get it.
I want to just specify something that I think is maybe happening. I think there is some semantic overload in how we're using the word being simple. Because I think, like, theologically, when we talk about like God being like simple, we don't mean that as in contrasted with complexity, right? We mean like God is one. God. So in some ways, in one way of looking at simple, God is the simplest thing, right? He is one. He's the all.
A little bit.
In other ways, God's the most complex thing, but it's kind of like it's not. Those aren't like antonyms in that sense. Like God is simple in that He is one.
There's no way to get rid of it.
It's not the same that. That's not. I think that's a different type of complexity when we're talking about simple organisms.
Very, very much.
Alex is talking to his
Sorry.
child.
Alex talking to you.
It's like, just ignore it. Fine, Alex, I will. But do you see what I'm saying, Tessie? Like, I think those, and when we're talking about the one type of simple, because I wouldn't say God is simple in the same way that like microorganisms are simple. I don't mean that, and that He lacks complexity. He's simple in that He's like one part. Like, I think it's a more like nuanced, like philosophical or like theological term. Like if you think of like the monad, like if what a Hostel was saying. That like if everything is one substance, well, in that sense, that substance seems very simple, but simple in the sense that it's like the lowest amount of entities, almost like an Occam's razor type sense. But it doesn't mean it's not complex. I generally want to go with Matt. Am I making sense at all?
Don't ever use the word monad. Please.
More about that.
I understand what you're saying.
Just forget it exists. All right. That's
like
what we
the
need to
word
do.
monad.
No, because it sounds like mononads.
Was that like having one ball, or
you beat me to it? I was trying to get the joke, and it didn't come out.
Well, it sounds like you're making. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not trying to put you into a box. I'm just trying to get a little bit more clarity on where you're coming from.
No, put him in a box.
Is this more like a fine tuning type of argument, where it's like,
Wait, David.
Yeah, like I guess
that's
the
not a lot of generation
conditions.
That's
even if
point.
we
that's
like,
not a lot of
because
generation.
I guess this even leads into more of a cosmological thing.
The
But like, even if we're saying that, like, say the natural processes exist without any sort of
that's what you would expect.
I guess not
Especially if it's in a
interference, but any
controlled
influence from like a god. Like, let's just say that he set up that evolution is like a real natural process. But you're saying that like the conditions for it to be allowed were set beforehand. Or are you saying that like on a deeper level that like every cell, every atom has this like thing in it?
Just like a variation of the cosmic watchmaker argument.
That's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
That's what I was trying to clarify. Yeah,
I think that is true. Like, I think if you look at like certain like constants and stuff, I'm going to trigger Keelan by talking about physics. But if you look at like the fine structure constant, the 1/137 or whatever it is, like these things that are just numbers without variables attached, and these numbers end up being set.
As opposed to if I go over here, you guys can't hear the panel anymore, right? But if I switch back over here, where they're still talking, and I go,
but I don't think it's a true.
Now
way.
we're sharing.
Almost
that.
like
Did they just come on.
You know, like Bohr's model of the atom is like it's good for teaching, but I don't think it's actually like true. It's kind of like that, where it's like, yeah, I think we have all these constants, and it's one way to look at God outside the universe. He sets up the initial conditions, and then he like
just came back.
He's the one that's doing it. But
I
don't think it's actually like that. I think that God actually is indwelling everything. So
yeah, for whatever reason, on the other laptop, when I muted
numbers that work for creation. Okay.
I'll say this last thing, and I'll let you guys talk on it. I think the only thing that I guess keeps me from that like assertion is that and you this might annoy you, but maybe you'll agree to this. It is ultimately sort of one of those unfalsifiable things where if I look at the natural process of evolution, and I remove that thing that you're sort of saying, where you like this instantiation of like God within it, then to any outsider looking in, you cannot tell the difference, right? Like there is nothing to imply one or that's what I'm saying. So it like, I guess my thing is that I can still have like that. You're making like more of a appeal, I guess, maybe to intuition, or you probably, I know you have a weird thing with that word.
Don't threaten me
with
like, a good time.
Right. But you're sort of saying that like, you know, like, well, what other reason could there be? Or like this sort of follows, like it sort of makes sense that there is some will or a sort of intentionality to these things. And I think that that's like a fine conclusion to sort of reach just based on, again, on intuition. I can view those processes without that thing. And if I can't tell the difference between one or the other, then it like, there's no reason why I would adopt that position, I guess. But that's all.
Yeah,
that's all I really have.
Yeah, I get it, and I that's I don't know. That's why maybe that is why I think that intuition is omnigoted, because I don't know. Yeah, it's like you could just as easily be like, well, I just reject that, and I just think it's all matter. And you could, like, if Brandon was here, he could be like, well, I think he said this before. There's no reason why matter couldn't exist forever, like logically, and it's like, yeah, maybe not, you know. And that's why I think philosophy isn't ultimately compelling. I think, right, and I think we've talked about this before. I don't think it changes anything. That's why I always punt to intuition and to experience, because I think those things are what is actually gonna, you know, that's the way to actually figure shit out. Real talk. It's not philosophy, you know.
You need to do analysis, real math to figure shit out.
Yeah, you know, I've never thought that Keelan is intentionally misunderstanding me. How dare you, Keelan?
I'm not sure.
I never thought the fine tuning
sounds
process
like it. There's a lot of conflation
is a
between
good argument for God,
and
in the sense that to borrow from Douglas Adams and Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, right?
Not
When
specifically, but this guy,
improbability drive starts running, all of a sudden the monkeys type out the works of Shakespeare. Now we actually all know, I think we're all intelligent enough to know that if you put enough monkeys in the room for a long enough time, they will eventually type out mathematically the works of Shakespeare. Although improbable, eventually it will happen, right? And this is kind of the idea behind evolution. So the whole idea behind fine tuning, just because we happen to be where we are and it is perfectly fine tuned, it's happening in such a massive scale. It's like the improbability drive is running on the universe. It just happened to happen in our area. We got lucky with it, right?
Well,
so,
but don't you have to assume then an infinite amount of time and a number of universes?
Well, we have basically that.
Well, no,
I mean, right. You have to go to multiverse, because it's not just about like if the sun was any closer, we'd burn up. If the moon was not tidally locked in this way, it's not about that. It's about the actual constants. Like I said, like I mentioned, the fine structure constant. If that was different, you wouldn't have like, you know, the universe at all in the way.
Correct.
Like,
if the universe was different, the universe would be different. That's you're not saying anything.
Well, no, I am saying something.
The reason that we exist in this space is because it is inhabitable for life, not the other way around.
Right. So it's either an infinite multiverse, or we hit some type of insane jackpot.
How do you
which you can say it's a multiverse?
Let me give you examples on how it's not even. It could potentially not even be a jackpot. We have no idea.
I don't think so.
Universe.
You haven't given any examples of that.
Hold on. I got a theory. I got a theory I would like to run by.
So I'm going to give you two examples. The fact that some amazing lottery. Maybe it is, but not necessarily. So, for example, we have the fact that we could be the first planet to have organic life like this, and that it just takes a certain period of time, and we just happen to be first, and then over the next million years we see human-like civilizations pop up everywhere. Or it could be that there's been civilizations in the past and they've blown themselves up, and or maybe they still exist and they're just too far away to ever meet us. And so making this claim that we are the only ones and therefore that must mean something doesn't follow, because we don't know.
I didn't say that though. You're missing what I said completely. I specifically said I'm not talking about the sun. If the sun was further away, I'm not talking about a planet being hospitable. I'm saying that the physics itself, that these things like the strength of gravity, the gravitational constant has to be such so that it would either lead. So we can't just say, hey, maybe there's more planets. Maybe we can't say that. we could say that maybe that's why scientists are positing multiverse in a lot of ways, because the alternative, I think, is that
you're basically saying without the multi-universe, right, that the probability of one area in the universe that we have, and I have a map of the universe. I should bring it in here.
I'm not saying that. I don't know.
The known universe. You're saying that it's not possible for one of those to be accidentally fine-tuned.
I don't know. Okay, I'll try to say it again.
Right?
I'm talking about the initial conditions to even have like a universe that's expanding. So it's not about. So we're to use your analogy or the monkey thing, right? This would be like one monkey who gets I don't know 13.7 or how many billion years to type Shakespeare or however complex. You don't get infinite monkeys unless you have a multiverse, because what I'm talking about is specifically you would not even have an expanding universe. You couldn't even have any area of the universe.
Why did you hold on? Why did you have to cite the infinite number of monkeys in an infinite amount of time would write Shakespeare? Why didn't you just say a monkey could write Shakespeare given enough time?
That's true. You only need one monkey if it's an infinite.
I was just trying to quote Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The idea has nothing to do with monkeys. The idea has to do with math. And if you have this many stars in our galaxy, by the way, our galaxy is a subset of a bunch of galaxies, which is a cluster. That is a subset of a bunch of clusters. And from the mapped universe that we have, the infinite amount of, let's say, monkeys, okay, is freaking crazy. So for one of them to land in, and my whole contention against
You're triggering me so
God
bad,
exists,
it's like you listen to what I say and then you completely ignore every word I fucking just said.
Perfect is actually pretty highly probable.
You just ignored every single thing I said, Vibe. I've said it 3 times. I don't understand.
All
It's
right,
like you're listening to me.
I'm sorry. Lay it on me.
I am saying that I'm not talking about areas of the universe. I'm saying that if the constants were not as they are, like the gravitational constant, the fine structure constant, you couldn't have a universe expanding at all. So there's no talk about all galaxies, different sections, different all that. None of that matters. I'm saying you couldn't have that.
But it did.
Now you're actually talking about, but what they were originally pointing to of us being in that golden zone was us being in that golden zone, not the universe. Now, I actually get you, and I actually will agree with you that it's pretty damn amazing that this universe even exists in the first place, right? My point is, we know it exists, right? So I don't even have to argue on how crazy it is that it does exist.
Exactly.
I can agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But it does exist, and the possibility in what we have mapped so far of the universe of there being something that is perfectly fine-tuned, like where we live on planet Earth, is actually statistically very reasonable.
I agree. That's why I wouldn't use the Goldilocks thing, because I agree with you in that sense. Like, yes, the universe is a big place.
If I can say something, just because this planet might exist, just because the sun might exist, because this Goldilocks zone might exist, doesn't mean that all the other things that are required to evolve from amoebas also exist, right?
Right. But
like there's a bug that literally farts explosives, right? Like
the bombardier beetle.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, if you think about it, like a single chemical difference, and that beetle would never have existed.
Right, but if I guess if you
so again, if things were different, then they would be different. That's
not what it's saying at all.
I can offer you something on that, because I what does the Earth say is like what 16 billion years old or whatever it is. So it's like
6,000. Calm down, Testy.
Whoa, that's a big number.
Moses was riding dinosaurs and everything, but like a lot. Because yes, it does go into like the origin of life, which I understand we weren't
read this out loud
speaking about, because it is a separate conversation. But the meteors from space and all these like
planets have fewer than
substances exist, and we know that the Earth has been pelted with those things. So over the course of billions of years, like those chemicals would be provided from somewhere in the universe. Like that's a plausible like explanation given that period of time, I guess.
No, that's not what I'm saying though. I mean, you're talking about the evolution of animals, right? So animals started as amoebas or whatever it is, and then naturally evolved to all these things. But I mean, with the bombardier beetle, unless there was an infinite number of beetles to try an infinite number of different alterations in the way it produces this chemical.
I'm with you guys.
This beetle does not exist.
How can
yeah, and if I remember the beetle right, it has like it keeps two separate chemicals in two separate things that I think evolved separately, and when they mix, they produce this chemical thing. Because if they mixed, obviously in its belly, it would just explode, which could be like a cool kind of suicide bombing style of an insect.
It would actually be pretty cool suicide.
This is where we can go next,
Don't give the jihadis any ideas.
So I am a Christian, right? And I'm basically saying I don't believe in God because of this perfect environment that could only be created by God. I can look at the universe and go, you know what, this could have happened without God. However, as a Christian, I believe he did have a play in it, but I don't actually have to say
yes. I thought I would.
Right?
Sorry.
I mean, I was just trying to like cut that one out because I like to try to be realistic with like when I'm a Christian. I like to. I'm not going to sit there and go, how could the moon be where it is, like blocking meteors, and like how could everything be so perfect without God? Right? That's not my proof for God. So that's kind of what I'm saying when I say I'm a Christian. I'm saying that's not my proof for God.
And to be
when
fair,
it comes to evolution, this is very interesting, right? As a Christian, we have two types of Christians out there. We have old Earth and New Earth Christians out there. I do tend to be like, I think that evolution and the universe and God can exist together. Especially when you start looking at like Genesis and we have like Cain and Abel. Cain goes off, right? These are the children of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Adam and
At
Eve.
least it's a
but
Christian
somehow
that's
Cain
saying,
creates a
you know,
whole
yes, I
town
believe in
and
God,
ends
but
up building.
not to the
Where did
point
these people
where,
come
you
from,
know,
right?
it's
So
necessary for the
potentially there were people all over the planet. I don't know how that works. The Bible doesn't talk about it. That's not what the story of the Bible is about. But obviously, everybody descend from Adam and Eve. Therefore, I have to conclude that the evidence of the universe and people being on this planet, whether it was got from God or was evolutionary, has to be old Earth. So that's my conclusion. I'm sure some people have some arguments there. But now, when it comes to evolution, I don't think it's I don't think it's a far stretch from all the things I've seen in evolution for man to come from apes. But at the same time, I don't think we did, because we do have, we talk about the missing link, and we have some missing links, and we have Neanderthal man. But I mean, there's several things in evolution. And I know Jim Bob is a new Earth guy. He denies evolution, which I disagree with him on. He's like, how can a liver become a liver from a proto liver? I actually think it's pretty obvious if you read the science. It works. It is that micro stuff that you guys were talking about before, where something can come off of it, like cells that are useless until they become useful. And I think the whole thing works. But there are some evolutionary things where our brain capacity is amazing and our capability is amazing. And there really should evolutionary and statistically be more people outside of our species, or maybe not people, things outside of our species that have some sort of brain capacity that we have, and there is nothing out there. And that's where I go, okay, I think God had a hand in that. There's also things where we have two different organisms that rely on each other, where one lives in the gut of another one, and they can't survive without each other. Which one came first? We've got a bird that buries its eggs in its shit to fertilize them. How is that evolutionary and not a brain function? Like, did one bird just like accidentally have a brain defect and put its eggs, instead of nurturing them, into its own shit to fertilize them? Like, some of these things are counter evolutionary, and they're all over the place. And I do have questions on that. And that's where I do think that's a much better theory for God.
Specifically
than
with those.
Goldilocks.
I was about to say, I have a theory, but I have a question I wanted to ask everybody.
Well, real quick, can I answer. Wait, but I've just had real quick. In terms of things being evolutionary and not beneficial, that there was never the claim that evolution is always moving you in the right direction. That's why so many species.
Oh, I agree. I mean, we have pancreas. Do we use those?
When you see something like that animal has evolved to do, for lack of a better term, that doesn't help them succeed, that is more evidence that the randomness of the process is going on, and it's only the changes that help the animal that allows it to evolve.
Well, I mean, and some of the ones that don't, as long as it doesn't hurt the animal, they may retain it, right? I didn't disagree with that.
We saw an appendix. But sorry, I cut some.
The appendix, which is pretty much useless for us now, right?
Yeah.
Matter of fact, actually, yesterday I was just at the hospital because I thought my son's appendix was bursting. So my other two kids both
just like they say in Lost.
Burst, so
what happened?
We were in a panic mode there. But I'm not saying that we don't make changes, but there is something with our humanity that has shifted us from every single animal on this planet. No animal is anywhere even close to us.
This is what we started talking about with the music and the art and everything, and
And that's kind of where I have the theory that kind of goes back on everything you just said, Bob. I was about to say, so the theory is that there's an intervention to the existence of humanity, regardless if it's God or not. The concept or the theory basically comes from the idea that animals, creatures, are in the bounds of evolutionary theory, except humans are not. There was an intervention, just like you explained, with putting a monkey in a room with a typewriter and give it enough time, it could write Shakespeare. That's intervention with the monkey. A monkey by itself out in the middle of nature will never come to the conclusion of doing such a thing. And it's kind of like the thing you just talked about, how evolution kind of goes back and forth. There's good beneficiaries and bad beneficiaries. And I feel like that's part of evolution, that the adaptation doesn't necessarily benefit the creature, but it might even not benefit the creature. There's so many different types of creature, like the sunfish, that is the most miserable, depressing fish in the ocean. And that evolved over time and ended up getting the worst adaptations. So I feel like every creature is in that category, but once you reach a certain level of intellect, there was intervention in that process. And whether it was God, or you could say alien, but I hate that stigma. It's more like if something else was human and it created more humans separate from itself, is it really alien if it's still human?
Hey, if you really want to have fun, you guys all know dandelions, and like when you pick them up, you can blow the seeds and they go and they plant themselves. What if our DNA is from another planet, and in our DNA is the whole structure to blow ourselves up so that our DNA turns into cosmic meteorites and lands on all these other planets to keep on repopulating over and over?
Are you suggesting we like ejaculate into space vibe? That's all I'm hearing.
Hold on. To that question, I actually have a question for all of y'all, including Vibe, but maybe y'all like it. What is Earth?
The planet?
Home.
So, okay, planet. What is Earth? Okay, everybody, what is Earth?
Clockwise, snake-wise.
Yeah, it's a planet.
Planet. All right, planet. Everybody says planet. Okay. So before it was ever called Earth, during Roman and Greeks, it was Thea, and I believe Terra. And before that, the Hebrews called it Ertz or something like that. It's like Eretz. But if you break down the elements of fire, air, water, and earth, if I go to Mars and I pick up the ground, what is it?
I think it's rust, isn't it? It's like iron oxide.
Well, would not any type of material ground be considered earthy?
Hey,
do you mean because the chemical compositions exist on it?
Indie fam.
Well, no, I'm saying separate from it ever being.
Welcome to the party.
Is that what you're? Is that where you're going?
3 months.
Because you said fire, water, earth, and air. Are you talking like the?
My goodness.
Yeah, we haven't solved from like those four elements.
Like the humors?
So what I'm trying to say is before the planet was ever called Earth, I'm saying
a new laptop. My old one
everything that has to do with rocks, minerals of iron, anything like that, anything that's a solid material that can make up what we call Earth today on this planet, wouldn't you still consider that Earth or earthy? Like if I was on Mars, regardless if there was life on there, wouldn't we still end up calling that Earth if life was thriving on there and we were living on that very planet?
Yeah, but this is just semantics at this point, right? Yeah. So like, right, I'm on Mars and I'm like, oh, feel the Earth of Mars, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing is, to me, is it comes from the linguistics of human language. the idea or the word of earth didn't come until the 10th century of Old English, and it wasn't implemented into Hebrew language until later on. The word earth literally meant land and ground. It never meant earth until later on, when Old English established that earth meant land and ground. That's what I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, but I don't understand the relevancy here. I mean, I'd probably call it Mars
Thank you
dirt,
so
or
very,
Mars,
very much.
yeah,
No
Mars
question.
dirt.
But I'm saying the relevancy is like when the Bible talks of earth, is it simply just this planet, or is it every single form that is a solid that can make up a planet
I have accrued
that we call
accrued over the last
Well, I mean, let's look at what the story of the Bible is about. Is it about the creation of Earth, or is it a story about the fall and rise of humanity? Right? It's not about the evolution of the universe. It's not in the beginning was basically just because the Egyptians had a beginning from the sun and things like that. They said, we got to give everybody a beginning. This is what we know. It's not a story about the universe. It's not a story about Earth. It's not a story about, Genesis is the genesis of our civilization, not the genesis of the universe, right? Potentially, if we get visited by aliens, who knows? They may have their own Bible that is very similar, but when it conforms to them, maybe there are nobody else. Nobody else out there. I don't know why God would go to such an expanse to do that. But
let's give him a double for that.
I still don't think the point is relevant.
Thank you.
So I would think like the preservation of His word, if you wanted to spread it around among other living intellectual creatures.
Right. So this is, it's in the vein of sort of what you're talking about, even what Vibe just touched on. But I've asked this question before: if we were to discover aliens, and I say aliens is in the form of intelligent life, maybe there's some like extraterrestrial bacteria or simple cell thing. I think that counts. But like when we think of aliens, we're thinking like little green men type of thing, or some sort of more advanced type of thing. If that were to at some point be discovered, or we were either visited or we found archaeological evidence somewhere out in the universe, does that at all call into question? Because what I've said before is that the Bible would essentially retrofit an explanation and say, well, actually, there's evidence in here that aliens actually did exist all the time, and the Christians knew it. But like, do you think that seems contradictory? Or do you think that like it just doesn't matter? Or do you think that like that calls into the question? Because then if there is like another species out there somewhere, there's maybe a bit more plausibility that we can't really say, well, as far as we know, we're this wholly unique thing, having these unique processes. And like I think the unique aspect of it lends a lot of credence for people to say that like there could be this divine element of it. But if we were to find at least one other example out there somewhere, like, do you think that diminishes that at all? Because then it's like, well, maybe the odds aren't as bad as we thought. I don't know. Food for thought. I just curious what you guys think.
Vibe is be right backing, but I would say, it would the thing it would challenge me on, I guess, it wouldn't challenge my views on God at all, but it would challenge my views on like specific theological points, definitely. Like, because then it's like, do these sentient people, do they need Jesus? Do they have sin? Like, what does that mean? Like, there would be a lot of stuff there.
The way I would see it is if something of a higher intelligence than what we are today, or just another high intelligence, was to be the intervention in where humanity comes into play, who's to say that doesn't prove or disprove? That doesn't disprove the idea of God, because that could be an intelligent life form still preserving the word of God and passing it along to other creatures.
Yeah, I was muted for a second. We're talking about how would it change your perspective if we found intelligent life elsewhere?
More sorts of theists, but just I guess more broadly, how do you think that changes
that's a great question, because the Confluence already brought it up, but do these people need Jesus? What does that say about a God himself if we have this story from God's Son himself, and it just doesn't have anything to do with any entity beyond Earth? Doesn't that call into question the validity of the Bible itself?
Nope, not even a little bit.
Okay, why not?
Well, because the Bible didn't detail every little aspect of everything that was going on at the time or henceforth. So is it the fact that there was a whole bunch of stuff that wasn't in the Bible, does that mean that there wasn't other shit going on in the world? That's kind of silly. And so
think if there was another
it does detail,
civilization, that would be relevant.
not unless that civilization was something that we would have interacted to and helped push the
Maybe we will. Maybe
storyline up. Well,
maybe they're coming
hold on.
tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe, and maybe they're not. So it was the Bible was talking about the civilizations and such that existed at the time of the writing, and that we could interact at the time of the writing. And so, you know, they didn't describe every single animal that was ever created by God, etc., in the Bible. But there's a whole bunch of them that. Well, I'm trying to answer your question. If you'd let me finish.
You said that already.
And so, what I'm saying is, there's a lot of information that is left out of the Bible, but we see as true now. It doesn't invalidate things. So, if there was another planet somewhere with life on it, all that would mean is that that God created that there too. But it just wasn't relevant to put in the Bible specifically.
Well, the classic example I use is the Earth being flat, right? Because there have been biblical justifications as to why the Earth was flat, and then after it was accepted that the Earth is in fact not flat, then people will look to verses to say, well, actually, and people do this for the Quran and all other holy books as well. But I'm just saying, I think that there would be some sort of retconning, I guess, where there would be some passage that's then found afterwards to say, well, actually, this was actually here all along, and it was spoken about. And it's funny for me.
I'm not saying it disproves.
I feel that historically that tends to
question.
Up again.
Here, I'm going to give you everything you need to know about the universe.
I think we've had this
leaving out a huge part,
maybe
especially
if
they're
talking
coming tomorrow.
As in, like,
we should
people
know about
punting to being like, oh yeah, this was metaphorical. Then I agree with you. Like, yes, like people have used like the four corners of the Earth and stuff to say that the Earth was flat. But I don't really see, at least it's not a common thing in my perspective to see people going back and being like, actually, the Bible was actually talking about the Earth being round the whole time. Like, there might be some, but I don't think that's a broad thing that people do. They just kind of will take things and interpret
I don't think
it
it
more.
happens, but it doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't come like some decree, but like even evolution now, I would say, and maybe I'm talking on my ass. I don't know the statistic on this. I think most Christians, at least on some level today, would say they believe in some form of evolution.
They would, but I guess I want to clarify that I've never heard a Christian say I think evolution is true, and this is the Bible verse I am retconning to support evolution. I've never heard that. It just goes in the way of saying, oh yeah, maybe Genesis, the creation account, is more metaphorical. Maybe the days are actually, long periods of time. It's that kind of stuff, but it's
not a form of retconning, though.
It is, but I just want to. I guess, but it's not. It's not. You said that they're going to use these verses to. I don't think I really see that happening.
Maybe I'm overstating. Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
but it would be I think people will go back and see take things that they used to think were literal and interpret them in a more metaphorical sense. I think we see that all the time. Yeah,
and I don't really even have like a major point to that. It's just more of like maybe an observation, or just like what I think would ultimately happen. Or as the section says, like there's no baked-in contradiction with that, which I would also probably agree with. Like overall, like just because something is not explicitly said or not said does not mean that there isn't room for it. Just think that
I don't know if this is such a bad thing. Like I think there is, because I think we're in a process of like not biological evolution, but like a type of societal evolution, a spiritual evolution, whatever you want to call it, probably both, right? I think it's good that we're learning this stuff and we are adapting our beliefs to hopefully like better conform with reality.
It's
I understand from one perspective, it can look at like copium and stuff. It can look like you're just like, I get that, but
I think it just lends more credence into the like, I guess the view that these things are man-made ultimately. That's sort of where I'm ultimately getting to, where I'd say that to me, that just implies there's more evidence to say that like, well, we're assigning meaning to these things.
I'll drop it after because I don't want to kick the dead horse. But going back to the idea that the existence of other human-like species, for lack of a better term, calling into question the validity of the Bible. Maybe that's not relevant because we never meet them. But if it is the case, hypothetically, that hostile aliens come tomorrow, then I would assume that God left that out, or the people inspired by God left that out, or maybe God didn't know. Why does that not make sense?
It does, but I mean, like we're not told a bunch of things, right? We're not told about black holes. It's like does that shake my faith? The Bible, it's not like the Bible is written by, it is like, from what Testy is saying, it's like, it is man-made, right? It's like, we don't have a Quranic situation where we have, the whole thing being dictated by Gabriel or whatever, right?
Okay,
like it is man-made, so it's like,
it can't be an objective absolute standard then. You can't have both. You can either be like, well, I think this is what's going on. Or
I guess what do you mean by objective absolute standard? Like, I guess I'm not sure what you mean, but like the Bible's a collection. We have to remember it's a collection of 66 books written in 3 languages over the course of, a couple thousand years. So it's like, obviously, it's written by people that, yes, I think were inspired by God to write things, but that doesn't, I don't know what you mean when you're saying like, is it an objective standard? I guess.
If I'm God and I'm inspiring people to write a book that will be for the ages, to not only tell people what's going on, but what they need to do to have a salvation and so on and so on and so on, then a hostile alien attack would not be one of the things that I left out. Maybe the particular type of species of bird, maybe that doesn't need to be in there. But an entire civilization coming to destroy you seems like something that would be relevant.
Yeah, I don't see how would that change whether or not you could attain salvation.
Yeah, the Bible is like the best seen as, I think, a story about the human condition and sin and the journey of salvation. So all these extra things, like, I don't know why. Yeah, I'm not shocked that the Bible is talking about black holes, or if there was other life in other parts. I'm not surprised that that's not what the Bible is ever attempting to do in any part, right? Like
the Bible is not an Encyclopedia Britannica, right? It is the story of the rise and fall and
maybe you guys don't. Maybe you guys don't treat it that way, but there's absolutely, we were just talking about a young earth creationist. That is using the Bible as a scientific standard.
Yeah, well, and this is where there are variances in Christianity, but there's something else, though, because you guys were also talking about...
Who's got a child screaming in the back?
Not mine. The Bible actually wasn't inspiredly written. We have to realize that the Old Testament was oral tradition until much later, where somebody actually wrote it down. It was very expensive. So it wasn't like Moses was like inspired to write this book, right? It was oral tradition before it ever became a book. So, I mean, when you guys were talking about like some God like inspired somebody to write that at their time, that's not what happened.
Well, no, hold on. You can't say that. I mean, I agree with you that these things were oral things ahead of time, but I don't think that doesn't contradict a theory of biblical inspiration at all, right?
I agree with you on that, but I'm just saying that there wasn't a guy. I'm just making this up because we know they didn't have typewriters back then. But like a guy sitting in front of a typewriter. Oh, okay, God, I'm gonna write this right now. Right? That's not how they were written.
I specifically contrasted it with like the Quran, right, which is like a dictated thing that Moab is writing out. And yeah, I'm saying the Bible is not like that at all. That's why I always point to like the thing in 2 Timothy where Paul is asking Timothy to bring him his cloak. It's like, none of us, if we're thinking about that logically, no one thinks God says, yeah, go ask Timothy to bring the cloak because it's cold in the wintertime. Like, that's just something he's just saying, obviously, right? So there's, I don't think we, at least when I'm saying biblical inspiration, I don't mean, a voice in someone's head being like, write this down exactly. Yeah. And I think the Bible, it's impossible to read the whole Bible and I think get that idea because of like the passages like the one I mentioned, like that just wouldn't make any sense.
The New Testament and the Old Testament are definitely different in how they were manufactured, but they were manufactured by men and through processes, right?
Yeah.
Vibe. David from my chat said, ask Vibe what 2 Timothy 3:16 and 17 says.
I don't
have every verse of the Bible memorized.
It's all scripture is God breathed and capable for teaching and reproof. It's that one.
Okay.
Guy in the back. I'm not sure if I know you.
David.
Give me one of these if you can see me.
And to that point, I'm not saying it's not God breathed.
Well, yeah.
I'm just saying technically it wasn't written when it was breathed, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I think I get you.
I'm not saying that you guys specifically are going around saying, "Oh, the Bible said this scientific thing, therefore that is true." I'm appealing to the people that are doing that. There are a lot of people who use this book in this way, and so that's where I'm coming from a perspective of undercutting the validity of that. And
with all due respect, you call yourself the Indian Jesus? That's blasphemy.
No, it's not, sir. Blasphemy is claiming to
because
be the
you're
Messiah.
over here. You're claiming that you're like Jesus.
Nope.
So, Aldi.
Nope.
Yes, tell me.
Is every child in Mexico that's born with the name Jesus
blasphemous? You heathen.
Jesus, I mean.
Yeah, but is that the case?
That's not blasphemy.
That's
not blasphemy. Let me hold on. Give me a second, please. He asked me a question. He asked me a question. Let me just respond.
Did I ask you a question?
If somebody is named Jesus, that's not blasphemy. This guy's name is the Indian Jesus. That is actual.
You know that Jesus and Jesus is the same word, right?
Yeah, I speak Spanish. I speak fluent Spanish.
Google blasphemy right now. Pull up the definition and show me how I'm doing that.
Well, another thing too is he's not claiming to be Jesus himself. So if he was like, no, listen. No, he's not. He says the Indian Jesus. If you add a prefix to something, you are not the thing which comes after the prefix.
I'll agree with you.
Just a trans woman is not a woman. That's why they have the prefix. So
I mean, that was
Indian Jesus is like the Indian variety of Jesus, but we know the real Jesus was not from India. So he's not claiming to be the real Jesus.
I mean, that is true.
If he was, if he said, "Look, I am Jesus, I'm God's son, and you should worship my Father through me," then you could be like, "Hey, dude, that's total blasphemy. What are you doing?"
All right.
You know what I mean?
I'll agree with
so
you.
It's a little bit different.
You're in the right section. You really explain that shit way better than this guy Vibe. But like at the end of the day, I thought this Indian Jesus guy was.
It's a valid question. It's a valid question.
Indian guy was a trans.
So then maybe
you know what, Aldi? I'll give you a plus 1 point. And actually,
one at a time. Come on, one at a time.
I'm going to give you a plus 1 point because and Indian Jesus a -1 because we do know what his intention is. He's got long hair. He's like, I'm Indian. Hey, look at me. I kind of look like Jesus. So yeah, he is making a play on it, and you know he's making a play on it, whether he says so or not.
Absolutely,
100%.
I don't think it's blasphemous.
It's a deliberate.
Yeah, I would say it's mockery, but not.
Yeah, it's a mockery. Yeah, he is. Yeah, perfect. It is. He is making a mockery of this shit. He is. All right, go ahead.
Which he can do if he wants.
Aldi, wait till you hear his tagline. He's trying to resurrect the second coming of common sense.
And so that's the you're absolutely right that I'm there is a tongue-in-cheekness to it to draw out the people who are going to be so triggered by a name instead of asking me about how do you know that I'm not a Christian and saying that like, oh,
you're obviously a tranny, right? You're a tranny,
you didn't know anything. You came in here hot. You got angry and you wanted to jump down my throat instead of asking me a question. You could have asked. But you did. Hey, and then you want to get all mad when atheists in general get all defensive because all of you are fucking like that. Again, being
well, not all of us.
What do you mean, all of you?
All of the people who are like you are like you. All the people
dinga. Go ahead, Indian.
Before things get off the rails, okay, we got remember everyone follow. We got to follow TOS. No, I just sense slurs coming sometimes. I feel like I can smell them. Let's make sure we don't do that.
I mean, we all know Indians' intentions, right? And this is why I always say Indian. I never say Indian Jesus, right? But I never bring it up because it's just like, hey, I know what he's doing. I know the game he's playing. It's cool. Hats off to you, right?
No, nobody has to say. I put it right in the parentheses. You want to call me TIJ? You want to call me Lutch? Go for it.
Bro, why are you getting so panicked? Can you not interrupt him when he's talking Indian?
Nope.
Super chat. Big Soda says, "Shh, don't tell nobody. I'm writing D&D script." Yeah, Halffoot is here too. Halffoot, you coming back? I hope. We're thinking of doing it every Friday.
This is why you
Bro,
don't.
I thought
come in hot.
Indians like worship like elephant.
This is why you don't
Why are
come
you
in
like
hot.
so
The mighty
fixated
Ganesh.
on,
Buddha and Ganesh.
No, Ganesh is the elephant.
Ganesh,
He's pretty
Ganesh
chill.
and Rama.
Right.
How many gods do
Trump?
you guys have? Like 16?
The Hindu
I
Trump.
know.
like, bro, you're a street shitter.
The
Okay,
Indian
okay,
Jesus
okay. We're in.
presents
I'll calm down. I'll
the
calm
Hindu
down.
Yeah,
Trump.
let's stay away from no racial
I-
undertones, please.
Yeah, say something intelligent so I can show how not intelligent it actually is. Go ahead. I've been waiting, but you just go ahead.
Why are you so obsessed with like what like Christians or Catholics believe in when you believe in like a six-armed elephant?
I don't.
He's an atheist. He's an atheist. He's not even
So
from
why-
India. Which is
so
the
if
crazy
you're
thing.
No,
if you don't
he's not an
believe in-
atheist. He's not an
All right,
atheist. He's
all
an
right.
agnostic.
Agnostic
What does he
non-theist.
believe in?
I'm an agnostic
Non-theist.
non-theist.
Testy
Get it
says over under on slurs 5 minutes. I'm hoping never. I'm hoping
I
never.
mean, it's not going to come from
I
me.
trust Aldi.
I don't need it.
Aldi, okay? Always be
I don't need
trusting.
it. I can just have a normal conversation and show how stupid he is. But I mean,
Oh, 100%. We're having a great conversation.
You shit in the streets. Oh, you're
All right.
Indian. You must smell bad.
So you're mad. So
Curry,
you're
curry,
mad.
curry. Brilliant.
We're
Galaxy
having a
brain
good
over here.
conversation. We can have
Galaxy
a real
brain.
conversation. I like the way that Vibe knows what he's talking about. I like Section. Section has said a lot of good
What about me?
things.
Do you like me?
This is what happens.
What about me?
Faith.
When you have a real conversation and you
Which we were
see
doing before you got
different
here.
ways that people
Oops.
think about stuff,
Oops.
instead of being like a little bitch, crybaby bitch, like how you're being right now, we can
All
have a
you've been
real
doing is
conversation.
crying. You stopped the entire conversation. Do you remember what it was about? You stopped the entire conversation to come up here and bitch about my name, and you've not stopped doing
Why
it.
are you yelling?
Because you're projecting the most stupid shit. And if I don't yell it, then your brain is.
Why are you yelling? Why are you yelling? Why are you yelling?
Case in
I
point.
don't find it very funny when you try to make fun of the way a person
And then he
talks.
says it again.
It's a little disrespectful.
Wow.
Why are you disrespecting the boy from where his family come from? I
feel
don't
like we
find
can
that.
leave the race out of it. I feel like we can leave the race out of it.
I'd say that in the words of, I think compliments is a Jew, and he would call this, it is untoward. That's the word that I think my buddy would use.
I would use.
No, this rabbi sounds like he can bench 300.
I'm a strong rabbi. I have the power of the Jewish
Yeah.
pre-workout. It's kosher pump five.
This rabbi sounds like he owns multiple homes. He's doing
got
well
a
for
couple of-
himself. He's an exceptional rabbi.
An exceptional Jewish person.
I'm a Sephardic Jew myself.
I'm sorry. What the, I'm
The great
sorry.
news is that the
I'm
word
a-
rabbi
I'm a
is actually
Sephardic
teacher,
Jew,
which means everybody on this
and I am
panel is
I'm
a rabbi.
Hispanic.
No, I heard you say you're Jewish. That's why I said I'm sorry.
Can you let people talk, bro?
Who's this really like well put together white guy above me? You're too good for this channel, sir. Get the fuck. What are you doing here? Go away,
Don't talk shit on my boy Vibe. Don't talk shit about my boy Vibe, motherfucker.
bro. You look like if diabetes was a person. I'm talking to the well put together Caucasian man above me.
Turn on your camera.
Oh,
What the hell? This motherfucker got a sleeveless. You got a sleeveless
mogged him
with that hoodie
Mogged
on.
him.
You got a sleeveless hoodie on. What the fuck?
Mogged.
Yeah, like if you had the arms to pull it off, you would do the same thing, sir.
Chester maxing.
Objectively, I'm better looking than you, and I'm probably significantly older. But going again, this guy above me, sir, you look like you have an 800 credit score. You have a functional marriage, but also like a really cool side piece that you helped get through grad school. Tell us, like, how are you able to put this all together and slum it over here at the Confluence Network?
Hey, we're not that dumb. We just.
Are you kidding me? I'm the bottom of the barrel when it comes to YouTube panelverse.
Oh.
Don't sell yourself short, Vibe. Vibe's
You
great.
look like the kind of guy who's like pre-approved to buy like a multi-unit dwelling.
Man, not many people get this many compliments from the dude. Vibe.
I'm being serious. Like I'm sitting there and like
Rabbi, you're pushing 40 and you're just starting to look max. Like what happened? Like you're like in your 20s.
PvP server. Go away. Adults are
I've
talking.
Bro, you have gray hair.
Adults
you
are talking.
worship a goddamn
or shut the fuck
six-armed
up.
elephant.
Conversation or shut the
You
fuck
worship
up.
a six-armed elephant, bro.
Bro, you just said I'm 40, and how did I just start look max? I've looked this way for the last 22 years. I've had a very, very successful.
Yeah.
Yes,
Keep maxing with your fucking sleeveless fucking jacket with the hoodie, dog. Keep doing it. I don't give a fuck.
Well, go ahead and.
Apparently,
we were actually having a pretty good conversation here, going into some meta stuff, even as a Christian and atheist.
We were having a great conversation. All these motherfuckers.
And now we're just going into ridicule and name calling.
I didn't name call anybody.
Where you guys want this to go, or would you guys actually want to evolve this?
Let's have a great conversation. Let's have a conversation.
We were. Shut up, so we can go back to it. Stop talking.
I like doing both. I like both.
Vibe.
It's probably more productive to do.
I'd watch the video.
Going back a little bit, but I really appreciate how you were talking about the fact that even though you are a Christian, you don't use that as your justification for scientific things, and I think we could all benefit from separating those things and seeing that there is definitely a spiritual world. There's a spiritual realm. There is that there. And it may not be completely separate from the scientific realm, but the way that it's...
Hold on, give it a second. $10 super chat. Shout out to the $10 super chat. Super.
Oh, that's making me cry.
That was a mute, right? That was a mute, right?
What?
That was a mute, right?
I don't think so.
I think it was.
I second that motion. The Jewish coalition seconds the motion for the dirty Habibis.
Guy wants to do it too.
Yeah. He's Kokomo saying no mute. No, he's just saying all these Aldi.
Dude, why are you flexing when you have? Hold on. Can you zoom in on him? He has no lats and he has no delts.
Let me finish.
You have an underdeveloped latissimus dorsi.
He still looks strong though.
No, he doesn't.
He look strong.
He's fat. That's what it is. So anyway. As I was saying, Vibe, I think you did. I appreciate the mode of thinking where you can separate them without having them to be entirely separate. Meaning there could be like a Venn diagram where there's a spiritual world, there's the scientific or materialistic world, and there can be overlap, but they are two different circles.
Yeah, I mean, I personally think. I mean, I actually did a Venn diagram on that and realized that they the atheists and the Christians, and even if you're not Christians, the agnostics overlap tremendously more. And the more I read the Bible, the more that Venn diagram starts turning into a circle. Especially when you start going in, like you actually start reading the literal translations. I like the first time I started reading the Bible with the most literal English translation I could find. I was like, oh my God, this is like so much better for my science mind because it makes more sense than being flowered up and modernized, right? Especially if you understand history. So I think we have a lot more overlap, but there are things like if you read Numbers, no matter what translation you read Numbers, the numbers don't add up in Numbers. So that sucks. So what do? How do I reconcile that as a Christian? And yeah, I mean, and there's 5 different theories on that. And which one do I do? The Orthodox have an amazing religion.
I specifically didn't fill up my gas tank because I'm hoping the prices bomb. No pun intended. In the next few days, I'm hoping.
Bro, Indian Jesus, you look like Russell Brand, bro.
Oh, sorry.
He does look a little bit like
looking
Russell
hard
Brand.
right now. He looks like he's been through the freaking dryer too many times. I got to give Indian a little bit.
And you somehow look like Bert Kreischer's son and father at the same time, Aldi.
Yeah, besides what people look like,
you look like the machine if it was not functioning.
I'm the youngest guy in this whole panel. I'm 30 years old. You guys are pushing 40, and you guys are on my dick.
No, I'm way more. I'm way more
pretending to be a Jew.
None of us knew you existed, you fucking dumbass. You came up here.
Okay,
Oh,
besides
we were
the
having a
insults.
conversation.
Besides the
Yeah,
insults.
we're
besides
all
the insults.
over your dick.
Okay, Vibe, I just wanted to ask you,
Projection.
and I know this is tangential to what you were talking about, but the numbers in the Bible, I know the matching. I also know, and you probably know this too, that there's like the Babylonian, the Masoretic, and they have different numbers. So Bible translations have to pick which numbers to go with. But one of the other problems is not only do they not add up, but they're way too big, like impossibly big, and like been a lot of debate.
That's
like,
real. That's real as fuck.
Did someone screw something up? Are we just interpreting this wrong? Because when it talks about like the amount of people, it's just like way too many people, like an impossible amount of people were like in like this camp or died in this battle. Like the numbers are just like, there's a problem with large numbers, I guess. So where do you land on that? And I guess anyone else as well, like if you are familiar.
Yeah, when it comes to numbers, and I was actually surprised that I actually picked it up, but I was reading it, and I think by like chapter 23, they're not really chapters, verse 23, whatever. I was like, wait a second, this doesn't make sense. And then I actually searched it on Google and found out, yes, there are different interpretations, and one of them is like actually the word. There was two words that were really similar, which is basically a comma. So the comma was in the wrong spot. So the numbers were smaller than the end numbers there, which then would end up matching if you move the comma one space, right? But like I said, there's 5 interpretations. And that's really frustrating as a Christian, especially when talking to an atheist, because I'm going to tell you guys right off the bat, I can tell you as a Christian and my faith is feels and experience and testimonies. None of that is provable, right? I just know it's true. And there's nothing I can ever do to change your mind to say, I can point that this atom equates God. I cannot do that for you guys.
Wouldn't the ability to give somebody faith take away the whole purpose for the
said, Vibe? I love how you just said that shit. But
wouldn't giving somebody faith take away the experience? To go, no, I'm not going to hold no facts.
One thing.
No,
please.
Aldi was talking.
I'll make it quick.
I was talking first, Kyle. Why do you always try to cut me?
Really quick. Listen.
I honestly thought he was.
No, I was asking Indian Jesus. I started speaking first.
If you look at with the
I was in the middle of talking. I was in the middle of talking.
All right, go ahead.
Stop. Vibe is cool.
Go ahead. Talk. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Well, you just said the ability to give an atheist faith would take away the very thing that makes it important, and that's the experience on finding. I'm actually agreeing with what you just said, sir. That's the whole idea. Why you wouldn't want to transmit it if you could.
Let me say one thing though. Let me just say one thing and make it quick. The majority of people in China, they also are atheists.
They're also Chinese.
And what they did in China, remember how they would they would sacrifice or have abortions if they would have daughters. And now they're dealing with the whole last thing where like they have over influence of like men and not enough women. At the end of the day, they're paying for what they did, sacrificing and all the abortions and stuff that they did and wanted to do with all the women that they sacrificed. Now they're paying for it. It is what it is. Chinese practice that, they practice all of that.
Well, they tried to control their population in one of probably the worst ways possible.
Anyway,
and they're reaping the consequences. Yeah, why'd you think of that, Aldi? Like, I agree with you, but where'd that come from?
Oh, it came from basically something that you were like talking about is basically like the atheism thing. If you look into it, like China, not just China, North Korea, South Korea, a lot of these different countries are atheist and they don't seek God. At the end of the day, Christ is king. And I mean, you don't have to believe in it. You don't have to worship it. It is what it is. In my opinion, as long as you have a personal relationship with God, that's all that matters. I don't care what people believe in my opinion. Like everybody has their own personal beliefs. It is what it is. But at the end of the day, nobody's judging you. You're gonna have to.
You came in here.
You're gonna have to face the gates. You're gonna have to face the gates eventually. Indian Jesus. You're gonna have to face the gates eventually.
I'm judging you all.
You're gonna have to face the gates.
What happened to he who is without sin cast the first stone? Are you a perfectly sinless being?
I listen. I sin every single day. I sin every day.
That's only for judging sins. That's not for other judgments. We are called to righteously judge.
Nobody is perfect.
That's true.
Every single human being sins. Everybody sins. Nobody is perfect. At the end of the day, as long as you have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, and you basically you tell him what you did and all that. I talk to God every single night. What about you, Jesus? Indian Jesus, bitch.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't necessarily agree with all these Peppermint in his statement. However, there's something really important that people miss.
Glasses. Page.
When it comes to Jesus, and it's
I thought we were doing a glasses live.
It's this, right? When Jesus picked up the fishermen, when he picked up his apostles, he did not lay up the book in front of them and say, "Here's the rules, and this is what you have to do." He said, "Come follow me." All he said was, "Come follow me," and they followed. He didn't say, "Here's the rules to follow me." He said, "Just follow me." And what all he said,
Luke 10:19
is correct. Is that all he's asking for is a relationship, and if you decide to have that personal relationship with him and you dig into the word with him, you and him, nobody else, nobody on this panel, nobody telling you what to do, just him. You and him can sort out your problems. And yes, you will still die a sinner. Sorry, but you have worked that stuff out together.
That is a pretty convincing trans woman in the bottom. Well, I've never
That's not a trans woman. That's an awesome woman. Very educated, very smart. I support
Game, the dude. Game.
I'm totally joking. She knows I'm joking.
To the party.
What is it? Because I'm smart? Like everybody thinks I must be like a man, technically.
Well, you're not that smart. I've heard you say some dumb things.
Well, you're based, you're anti-Semitic, and you have higher testosterone than most of the fucking women on this panel. So yeah,
I'm not anti-Semitic.
If you're a man, you're the sexiest man I've ever seen.
Weird. That is so fucking weird. Oh my god.
Welcome
Game panel. Game.
Well, I'm not saying she's a man, but I've never seen her lady bits. Don't P-bomb like Stacy though.
Yeah, no.
Hey, it was one time. It was one time.
Recently, the Panelverse tried to get me to show my tatas, and I.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it.
No, I will never do that. I'm a classy lady, and I like to prioritize my content based on my intelligence, not on my physicality. As y'all will know,
we got enough women who do that. Yeah.
T-shirt with sunglasses.
Yo, Indian Jesus, do you know because I have Indian viewers. And I have 600 viewers right now. And do you know who Mahatma Gandhi is?
Nope.
Mahatma
Gandhi. That was actual
Mahatma Gandhi.
In your culture.
Did you
wait?
You're talking about
give me one of these.
Mahatma Gandhi is an actual.
He's got to be trolling, right?
He's got to
be trolling, right? This is not a real person. He's got to be.
Hey, Aldi. Hi, Confluence.
What's up, corn dogs?
Hey.
Wasn't that a court?
I like your glasses, motherfucker.
Hi, Aldi. What's up? How you doing, brother?
What's up, sexy?
Show them that one. Show them that 1K on your hand, bro. There it is. Look at that shit. That's a real tattoo. That's crazy.
1K what?
He had 1K viewers one time, so he had to get it tattooed.
1K foot long. 1K centimeters.
Coupler, you should do that.
Yeah,
1K centimeters on my
Every
cock.
time I had a milestone, I got a new tattoo.
I think we should get the youth pastor in the middle to get a neck tattoo that says 1K.
Vibe does look like a
I'm
youth
big,
pastor, like
bro.
real
I
time.
wanna get a
He is like the stereotypical, or like a worship
He looks like
leader,
he looks
maybe.
like a narc.
Yeah, Sunday school teacher. Yeah, and fed a little bit.
You look like an Indian Jesus dispensary made an LMFAO cover band.
We're having a good conversation. Why are you guys on my dick?
You're a drunk abomination. You are young Bert Kreischer.
I've never been that drunk. I can't even imagine.
I am the youngest person on this panel, by the way. I am.
You look
And
old,
you're-
Aldi.
100%. 100%.
Wow.
And I probably am the oldest person on this panel. So yes, I will take the title.
No, you're not. Vibe. You act Vibe. I will tell you right now, Vibe. You actually know how to carry a conversation without
this is like
fucking
Vibe
calling
Vibe, I just
people
wanna-
out
I
without
love
talking
you, bro.
shit.
I love
Vibe,
you, bro.
you carry a great conversation. You are a real motherfucker, Vibe. For real, for real.
He's trying to get down your dick, bro.
Yo, Indian Jesus, you look like Scar from Lion King. Shut up, Russell
You really
Brand.
want to talk about looks?
He has a
really want
point
to talk
there.
about looks? You already got mogged once on this panel.
You got mogged pretty bad.
Let's talk about looks, bro.
Pretty bad.
Bro,
Bro.
You're gonna. You think I care if a man thinks
I'd
I
rather
look
go back to the topic.
ugly? You think I care if a man thinks I look ugly?
Let's go back to the
I
religion.
know
okay?
Indians are
Let's go back to the
homosexuals.
religion.
I'm not a homosexual.
Hey,
dog.
you've got
I
a
don't
lot of
care.
hair,
dog.
If a
Hey,
man
what
tells
are
me
you,
if I look
Christian?
ugly,
I'm definitely
I don't
Help us,
care if a
Jesus.
man
Spare us,
thinks
right,
I'm
corn
ugly.
dog.
I'm gonna mute myself. My bad. Confluence. You're a real one, Confluence. Thank you for letting me on. But listen, I'll be quiet.
Thank you.
But I really do not care if a man thinks I look ugly. I could care less.
That's fair. That's valid. Yeah, I agree. I
That's the guy
think
who
talking
brought
about how attractive or unattractive we are is kind of stupid. So I agree with you.
Wait, who brought that up?
I think the dude originally.
No.
Nope.
No, God, stop
I'll
trying to
use it.
cuck me,
Use
you
the camera on,
Canadian
bro. Use the
femboy.
camera on.
Always
Use
you
the
the
camera
thing.
on.
I'm
And that's when
sorry.
he
It's
got
just so
mocked.
maybe I'm just jumping the gun.
No, like if somebody references something loosely in that regard, I'm just quick to let them know, like, no, God made me better than you.
Silence. Mic drop. Bear, bear, bear.
Okay, corn dog. So what are you?
So
Is
how
your
about
new
that topic?
around these parts? Although you seem to know Aldi, I don't know. Are you from the Thorpes? Is this out? Because you know Jamon, and I think Jamon, is that the connection or what?
No. Aldi's
I'll tell you straight up.
Aldi's a legend.
Grace Thorpe
Everyone
follows me around. I'm not from the Grace Thorpe community, but she follows me fucking around because
Good call.
I denied that bitch. I denied that bitch. She's a dirty ass bitch. I denied her.
Confluence, can you put a poll down there? Because corn dogs and Tretch have equally yoked in the hair department, and I want to see what the fans have to. I mean, both the beard and the hair are really well manicured. I want to see what
this is all natural, baby. But no, you know what? You put it in. I'm willing to take the L. He's a beautiful man, and I do care what other men think of me. Thank you very much. Okay.
Oh, I'm just saying, like,
Corn dog,
I'm getting hair mobbed right now.
You are
Aldi.
Aldi, you're
Corn
aging
dog.
like
Keep an eye on it.
Aldi, shut up. You're aging like fine wine, and it's because we have that Latino blood, Aldi. Me and you. We age
Aldi's aging like milk on the hood of my Chevy Silverado in San Antonio.
Corn dog like dead ass. Corn dog like dead ass. I'm not a homosexual, but you are a good looking man, my
Thanks,
friend.
homie. Thanks, homie. Yeah,
All right.
like
So we
these, I
all
wish
think
I
we're
could run a
good-looking
panel
men.
with
You guys ready to get back on
panels, okay?
topic?
It
Let's
makes
go.
Yeah, let's get back on
makes
topic.
so
Vibe.
much
Let's get back on
sense. So
topic.
much
Let's
sense
stop
that he's part of
flirting
that
with each
community.
other, please.
Well, we have the lady. She came in.
Sexual
I'm sure she
tension
has an
is
opinion.
crazy.
The first
All right,
lady on the
Vibe.
panel.
Vibe, I
Paige,
want to
figure
watch
out-
you
Page
watch
Wednesday.
this girl.
This is Rage Page.
Vibe,
I've
I
never seen
wanna
your
watch
Rage
you have
Page.
sex
This is
with
not,
a
this is
woman.
not Paige, who doesn't want to be called Paige, but her name is ABG. That's really hard to say. So
Oh,
I'm average female debater, AVG, female debater. If you'd like to follow me, I would love to have you as a follower.
I'm sorry, but I thought you were our friend Rage Page. I wouldn't have made the trans comment if I knew I didn't know you. I'm sorry, man.
That's okay. It's all good. I'm an Orthodox Christian lady. I'm mod for Andrew Wilson. And yeah, I am here to, I guess, discuss what we are discussing.
You mod for who? Who do you mod for?
Oh my god.
Andrew Wilson.
Weird flex.
wait, I didn't know that. I didn't know that page.
Why is
You
that
didn't
a
know
weird
that?
flex?
Why is that a
No,
weird flex?
I had no idea.
He announced it like at least 3 times on your panel alone.
I was
I
just
know- I didn't know
talking
she
to the
was
Powder
connected to
Dusty
Andrew
page.
at
Do you know
all.
him?
Yeah.
Fortunately, yes.
I was literally just talking to the Powder Dusty like 10 minutes ago.
Okay, and
I've never known who Andrew Wilson was until I met him, so I'm new to the Andrew Wilson sphere.
okay, yeah, he's
So
a
you're
debater.
a second connection. Well, I guess he does stuff with him.
Dusty does stuff with Andrew?
I guess, or they were on the same show, The Crucible. and something together.
Yes.
Not at all. No.
He was on a panel that Andrew was doing.
They have
I've been on a
interacted
panel with
together
Andrew,
numerous
right?
times on the internet.
You get on
and
a
I
panel
think
with
they
Andrew
might have
pretty
even been on a 2x2 debate on Raging Tomato, but they are not affiliated.
Oh, okay. Well, then I stand corrected.
Yeah, no worries.
I,
They do have an affiliated hatred now for
I
hearing
just
Raging Tomato. but
it for me it's like I don't know how you could be like, I love this guy who's like, obviously no matter who they are, when they're that big of a YouTuber and they're like their whole life is YouTube and their brain is broken, internet broken, like it's all about the grift. Like no matter what they're
you think
saying,
Andrew's a grifter?
100%. And I think I can't believe you've fallen for it. What is
Oh,
wrong?
yeah, I love Confluence.
You don't think
Well, look,
Andrew's a grifter?
I worship
Everyone's
Confluence.
got to grift a little bit.
I heard.
Hold on. You gotta hear this.
Let me ask a question. Let me ask
Go ahead, corn dogs.
Let me ask one question.
One at a time.
One question. AVG, do you give him money? Do you send him money?
No, I haven't donated to him in months. I
But
think
you
last
have
video
before.
was
How much have you sent?
early
Yeah,
2025.
You have sent him money before, though, yes?
Like 10 bucks.
Can I ask you a question? To be fair, corn dogs, just before we go, just one question.
Anything.
You're old enough to have watched terrestrial TV, correct?
Yes.
Would you say you've ever bought anything that was advertised for on a TV show that you liked?
No.
I think you're lying.
Rabbi, you're small.
No, but you know what? I'll fall for like Instagram ads.
Let me
like,
just say one
I'm talking
thing.
about terrestrial TV. I'm talking about.
I've never bought a COD. Like I've never bought free. Man, this is
Let me
Freedom Rock,
say
man.
one
I've never bought a
thing,
compilation.
please,
record.
and I'll mute myself. Let me just say one thing.
Why
Yo,
would I buy something on
AVG. So that Andrew Wilson guy, just because you think you're like an Andrew Wilson like moderator, you think you're gonna get on Joe Rogan? You think you're gonna get on Joe Rogan and you're gonna like get on Piers Morgan?
No, I
shit?
have no career aspirations in that.
Shut your bitch ass
I was gonna say Confluence. You better get me on Joe Rogan.
She literally called herself the average female debater. I think that tempers expectations, Aldi.
It does. I like to.
I
set
think that's what she
expectations
thought.
low.
I think mentioning Andrew Wilson triggered some people, but she wasn't trying to claim fame just because of that.
But it's her whole personality. That's what she said
She's
about
a
herself.
clout
She said,
chaser.
this
She's
is my
a
religion.
clout
and
chaser.
That's not what she said
thinks
first.
Because she's a woman, she's gonna use
She just
the
mentioned it.
pussy in order to
who are we
get
talking about?
clout.
No, that's not what AVG does.
She looks like
That's a
Michael Jackson
misrepresentation.
to me. She looks like Michael Jackson.
Hey, Confluence, if you're half the man I think you are, you're not going to let a female be spoken to that way. If you're half the man I think you are, you're not going to allow
I'm
that.
a debater. It's fine.
Yeah, you can fucking send her money and have sex with her, bro.
Oh my
Send her
god!
money and have sex with her, bro. Keep simping.
I'm just saying,
Keep
Rage
simping.
page was identified.
This girl
thought you were gonna shut up.
wants to get on Joe Rogan. This girl wants to
I'd
be
love
on
to go on Joe
Piers
Rogan.
Morgan.
I don't think she wants to
Oh,
go
she
on Joe
came
Rogan
on.
for
She
Piers
came
Morgan.
on and
All
she
right, how much
started
you
saying,
kicking? How much
"Oh,
you
I'm on
kicking?
Andrew, whatever his name
75
is,
to kick.
moderator."
Hold on.
This
Hey.
bitch
Yeah.
just wants
hold on a minute.
clout.
Hold on a minute.
This bitch
Hold on a minute.
wants
What's the
clout. This
bad
bitch just wants clout. Don't be
Just
stupid,
naming
motherfucker.
an affiliation just shows
Listen, there's a
what panels you
reason
go
why
on. That doesn't mean that she was trying to
OnlyFans and all
claim
this
fame from that.
shit is a thing.
Can we contend? Hold on. Can we contend with the word grifter? Can we contend with the word grifter? Because grifting means a certain specific theme, right?
I just wasn't aware that like being a mod for Andrew got me on Joe Rogan. I guess I need to like re-examine.
No, but it's kind of sad. It's sad. It's
Do you
embarrassing.
have any spots?
It's
Can I get
embarrassing.
me in on that page?
Do whatever you
that-
gotta do. Sell your
wanna talk
pussy.
Piers
Start selling
Morgan.
your pussy too.
He's right.
Do you guys
Confluence.
have good Discord?
That is untoward, Confluence. Nobody would talk to Marilyn that way.
It's embarrassing.
One person talks. I would.
That was pretty
I would talk to Marilyn that way. She's an escort. Why wouldn't you talk to her that way?
One at a time. One at a time. One at a time.
Exactly, right? So Discord, good Discord is I listen to somebody, I respond when they're done. That's not happening here. I'm just hearing I don't even know what's going on for the last freaking 30 minutes. Can we actually have a civil discussion here?
It's the Confluence panel.
You can't do that when somebody's
Aldi jump to OnlyFans. Like
when somebody's so inebriated that they can't maintain that they have vertical nystagmus. You can't expect decorum. You can't expect decorum from somebody at that point. And I think you would expect from Confluence a man with a Western Christian education to probably expect better. He's a little feminine guy.
I'm muted, dumbass. Why are you crying about me when I'm muted?
I would love to see him bring that same. Oh,
so we have a pay to mute thing, pay to unmute as well. So if you're an Aldi fan, you can pay the exact same money.
10 minutes.
Talk about a grift chasing clout chaser. Now you're trying to unmute the guy who just got muted by your boy.
I'm just saying, if you want to have like a bunch of people donating to mute and unmute him, I'm just saying it's
Are you that hard up, though? I'll send you some DoorDash if you're that hard up.
I think we all agree that
we that'd be nice.
You'll never know when my super chats come from because I don't want you to know my screen name, but I do super chats
I'll
somewhat
mute
often.
myself. That was the free $10. Thank you, Alexander.
I'll mute myself.
Confluence, you're disrespecting the money that Alexander spent. Put him in the back.
Put him in the back.
Put
him in the back. Put him in the back.
Back.
You didn't
All right,
pay
so
for me
could I
back.
contend with something? Right, you gotta stay muted for the 10 minutes. The timer has to restart if you talk again. So you gotta stay muted for the whole 10 minutes.
This is my
It's
grip.
just 10 minutes. It's $1 a minute. All right, can I bring up the idea behind grifting? So to call someone a grifter implies that they're just doing it for the money and they don't actually support the things that they're espousing. When someone's career is working online and being an entertainer, they're providing a service and you pay for services. So when you go to, that's the definition of it. I mean, you could call it a cope if you want. When you go to a restaurant, do you pay for your food? Because they're providing you a service of cooking and serving the food.
If he's going to say that's a cope, and I'm actually on your side, but I want to hear him try to defend the fact that that's a cope. You said that's a cope, but let's not be millennial Gen Z, and let's actually explore an idea and go ahead now and tell us how that's a cope.
No problem, because offering a service is like it's a blurred line. Yes, people could pay for whatever they want. People could pay for whatever they want. People are adults; they have that agency. They can but if they're people pay scam artists all the time, and this guy is obviously has been proven time and time again that he doesn't actually live the stuff that he stands for and the stuff that he talks about.
Wait, who, Andrew?
I don't think that's true.
Yes,
I don't think that's true.
Can you give an example?
Yeah, the wife. Yes, the wife stuff. The wife stuff.
I know.
Okay?
See, that bugs me when people say this.
Why
is that not living? When do you hear Andrew Wilson being like, "Yeah,
Well, let me finish my point. This is my opinion.
People that have been like
my
divorced.
So for me, it's people. It's the same thing as people giving their money to L. Ron Hubbard and Scientology.
Let me try being nicer.
Because I see just a guy like motivational speaker bullshit.
Let's try that.
Bullshit.
I'm going to try to switch it and be nice.
That's my opinion.
No, but you said a specific thing about how he's not leading up, and I've heard this before, and I don't get it because I get like.
So you think that he's a real moral, cool, upstanding, awesome dude? You think he's a guy? He's a man of God, and he lives every word he says.
So corn dog.
Answer my question first.
I'm the one who asked the question. I will.
I answered your question.
Well, and that's his dialogue.
You guys think that this guy's a real cool guy and he stands by his.
And I'm gonna.
I do think so.
That's my question.
But that wasn't what I asked.
Since this, I just want to ask one question to Corn Dog. Nobody lives up to the standard that they set for themselves at all. But I'm going to throw.
Why are you making excuses? Why are you? Hold on. No. I'll respond to what you just said.
I'm asking the question. I'm prefacing the question with that statement. I would say that I'm a big Jordan Peterson fan. That guy's had a big He's had a big fallout. Tony Robbins has been criticized several times over the years. These people provide us. So
when you tell me that you're into those guys, all I see is sucker. I see a big fucking Tootsie Roll.
I mean, objectively, I'm hold on, but when you say that, objectively, I'm probably the most successful guy on this panel right now.
What internet creators?
Why is that? Why is that funny?
Because people that talk like that and follow those guys are never really.
No, I have real estate. I have rentals. That's what I do.
May I ask a question?
About the people talking about fans of people that they don't like.
Go ahead, Paige. I almost called you AVG, but I had to correct myself.
Do you pull in $260 a year gross, corn dog?
Guys, this is not a dick measuring.
Okay, so then I'm not the most successful person. That's fine.
I would like to know what creators Corn Dogs follows.
I'm not into creators. I'm into like artists and musicians.
Okay, do you buy their albums?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Great. So you engage in their grift, right?
I don't know. I think making art is different than like.
How is it different?
Art. I think because you're making art, and one is making art, and one is trying to get people to believe something.
So where's the value difference placed? How is work that is generated on the internet different from work that is generated in a studio?
Because I mean, one is made one is made from beauty and purity and creative energy, and one is made from.
Isn't that just an opinion?
Right. Because the thousands of like rock musicians that were high on frickin' the Purple Dragon were like absolutely engaging in the beauty of art.
What a weird
What about comedians? Are they all grifters?
Corn Dog,
Are
the reason
comedians all
what you're saying
grifters?
is bullshit is pretty much
dumb
every musician out there is selling a lifestyle. So you have the emo lifestyle, you have the rock lifestyle, you have the renegade lifestyle, you have the peace hippie lifestyle. Every one of them are grifting on their style of music, which you're saying, well, that's an art because it touches my heart. It touches my heart. That's art to me.
Yes, I got that other one.
But they're selling a lifestyle.
Hopefully we get back to it.
Andrew is doing exactly the same thing. It's no different. And by the way, Andrew has been on many panels saying he's an entertainer and he's damn good at it.
You guys all seem so brainwashed. It's so weird. It's so weird. You guys all brainwashed.
Well, you still haven't contended with what I said.
That's what brainwashed people say.
You're comparing.
Brainwashed people say. You don't agree with me exactly, so you must be brainwashed.
You're comparing a YouTube motivational speaker to.
He's not a motivational speaker. That's a label you applied. He says he's an entertainer, a content creator, entertainer.
Stupid.
You guys are funny.
How much money do you all send to this guy? That's what I want to know.
Zero.
None.
I don't send. I've donated like once before, but I don't send him money.
I've criticized Andrew Wilson many times.
So where do you get your news from?
Yeah, because I support him as a content creator. So if you bought a musician's album, you've supported them because you like the content they put out.
That's a broken-brained internet way to look at things. But
I think you just don't like it because you can't refute it.
With CDS right now.
Explain why.
If it was broken brain, you could explain why I'm wrong. Yeah. It's a service being provided, and we choose to pay for it.
Exactly.
Just like you choose the things that you want to pay for.
Right. Exactly.
And they're providing you a service, whether that's in the form of digital media, a physical copy of something, food on your plate. It's all a service that you pay for. And yes, there are standards, but that doesn't refute the generality of the definition.
The Scientologists pay for Dianetics, and they're allowed to do that.
Okay,
yeah.
So corn dog.
Yeah, but again, that doesn't contend with what a grifter is.
Do you think the Scientologists are grifters, or they're just providing a service?
Well, that would have to be analyzed. Do you are they doing it because they actually believe what they're saying, or just because they want to make money?
They're born into it.
If they believe, listen, they could still be scammers, but that doesn't mean they're grifters. If they believe in what they're saying truly, and then that's why they're pushing it out, then yes, they're scammers. I would agree with that, but I wouldn't call them grifters. So the definition of words matters.
I'm not being silly. Are you non-binary?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
This guy just said Scientologists aren't grifters. I just want to tell you that's where the debate
is. If they believe in what they're they're scammers but not grifters. Definitions matter. It's interesting.
So when you've got foreign immigrants doing false
Hubbard, I think was, but do you? I mean, a corn dog. I think you would understand or maybe agree that there's probably a lot of people that are high up in Scientology that fully believe it. They're not intending to rip anyone off. They fully believe it. They think the money is to go to the Church of Scientology.
I personally know some that are all in. They're born into it. They're all in. You know what I mean?
Okay, so here's the problematic issue with the definition of grift, right? It's obviously not a dictionary recognized definition. It's like a definition that is recognized in modernity in specific circumstances. So it is left up to subjectivity for the most part, right? But I think most of us can agree that it's based on a falsely held belief, which is monetized in some way, shape, or form, right? So I would like you to tell me, Corn Dogs, how exactly is Andrew Wilson, who is
or ABJ, can you give us an example of who you think a grift is? Because I think an example might actually be a better device in this moment. Like I would say Wes Watson was a grifter. So
oh yeah, for sure.
Give us an example, ABG, who you would say is like truly a grifter.
Yeah. So I think like Lila Rose. Lila Rose is a great example.
I gotta read the super chat page. Hold on. Confluence keeps taking my money, says Kokomo. True. And you know what? I think we should support content creators. I disagree with Corn Dogs.
I would make one.
I think we should.
Quick Confluence. One
Everything
super quick
should
point.
be free.
Everyone. I think we all could agree. Everyone on this panel could agree that we want Confluence to make that money and keep sending. And Confluence, you might be
a fucking grifter.
Confluence, you might be a grifter, but I believe in your grift, buddy. So everyone keep liking and subscribing.
I wrote a book about Confluence and it was called A Grift in Time.
To go back to what AVG, because I cut her off there. Yeah. So I guess, what was your example of a grifter?
I don't know who Lila Rose is.
Lila Rose is a Catholic influencer.
You think Lila Rose is a grifter?
Yes.
Yeah.
What? How?
She purports Catholic ideals, but at the same time goes on podcasts and talks about like male sexuality and effectively, disregards her husband's authority in terms of like where she's at. Like you need only look at the interview with Chrissy Howden to understand exactly what I'm talking about. Catholicism mandates that women be respectful to their husbands, and I have no clue how joking that a priest is hot and laughing at it would be following that kind of ideology.
See it, but I like her main thing is like the pro-life stuff, and I feel like she comes across as sincere. Sometimes maybe a little misguided, but
that's only one component to Catholicism.
No, but I'm saying that I feel like the most of the times when I see her videos show up, like that's her. Doesn't she run like a pro-life org? And so, like,
sure,
that extent, I don't think that's a grift. Aldi, you're free, by the way.
But when you're on the internet promoting your brand, when you're doing interviews on your own podcast, on your own stream, you are representing yourself, and she's representing herself to be her husband. And
cry more, bitch.
Okay, we don't have to.
I'm not crying. I'm just giving her she's an example of hypocrisy and this.
Okay, I won't call her the B word, but like at the end of the day,
call me a bitch. I'm not gonna be offended.
What are you trying to like? What's your point? What are you trying to get across?
Question.
What the fuck
so the point is the distinction of definitions
you just want people to feel sorry for you. Nobody cares.
I don't think that's what's going on.
That's the question.
She's trying to delineate definitions.
Greg Doucette is a grifter.
Do I think what?
Greg Doucette. He's my example of a grifter.
I don't know. I think he's, from what I know, like maybe I don't know these people well enough, but I think he's sincere. I don't.
Well, Greg went.
I would say in some ways, yes.
The fitness guy.
In some ways, yeah.
V Shred or whatever his name is. That guy's a grifter.
Well, Greg Doucette left fitness and went in. Now he just comments on the drama in the fitness space. He doesn't actually do fitness content anymore. He just does drama and sell supplements. I
feel like this is my criticism.
So the supplements would be the grifting.
What they're saying. But to me, that's not grifting. Is like
really care about this.
I think grifting is if you don't actually believe what you're saying and you're just
You're
saying it to like make money.
Does anyone know who Jesse on Fire? Does anyone follow Jesse on Fire? Does anybody follow Jesse on Fire?
No.
Yeah.
He was. Do you follow him, Indian Jesus?
Yeah. We came out together.
He's a guy that started in like the MMA space, UFC, combat sports. Then it was Manosphere. Now he's completely pivoted to like what gets the most clicks and views, and he's talking about Erica Kirk being a he's an example of a grifter.
I was trying to hop on that grift. He was supposed to do my channel, but then I got a strike, and then I was supposed to bring him in.
I didn't know we had another girl in here. Listen, all I'm trying to say is like the only person that was like pretty much rational in this place Confluence, you are very rational. Section, you are very rational.
This
you guys
dude in the corner-
made the homie
This
leave.
dude in the corner
You
is
guys made Valve leave.
on one.
Valve
What?
was
Sorry,
like a
you're
real
muted,
rational
Indian. We've
motherfucker.
been trying to have a good
What's his
conversation.
name?
We're
Jesus,
taking it off the rails.
You mean Vibe?
And Colin won't do anything about it. So
What is
we're working through it.
Vibe has a
We're
family.
working
Yeah, he was the very rational person. At the end of the day, like this girl, the reason why she's wearing her glasses is she got like 2 black eyes from the last black guy she dated.
Wait, Aldi, where are you streaming?
I've never dated a black guy.
I always wear my glasses.
Vibe left to give his kids popcorn.
Aldi,
He didn't.
where are you
He didn't
streaming
leave
right now?
because of us. He said it in the back chat.
Aldi, where are you streaming right now?
Aldi, what fucking bar did you crawl
Don't
out from
you
under?
ever fucking ask me that question.
Aldi,
Where
Are
are
you
you
okay?
streaming right now?
I have to ask you. You just
Don't
So,
worry about
anyway,
it.
can we go back to the
ain't
topic?
streaming.
Can we go back to the
It's like,
topic? Because
are you
I already
really
disproved
there, or
Griff.
you just
Prove
I
it.
think he's on.
I already
Kick.
disproved the
I'm
Griff
pretty
thing.
sure
So
I'm pretty sure he's on Kick right now.
Okay, that's all I'm asking. Prove it.
I don't stream on Kick.
You don't stream anywhere.
I
no?
stream on Rumble. 600 views right now.
Okay.
That checks out.
Find me. I don't need newbies. I don't need newbies.
Oh, don't worry, honey. I'm
do you
just.
know how to
I don't
listen?
need
Are you
newbies. I
capable
got
of
So
600
anyways,
loyal
can we go back to the
people. I got
prompt?
600 loyal
Are you
people.
capable of actually listening?
can we just go back to the
What's up?
prompt?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
Thing
So
section?
no. Okay.
Shout
Yeah,
out
yeah.
to
Can we go back to the
David.
prompt
Got
or
him.
some kind of
Got him.
topic
He ain't
rather than
streaming
just like
nowhere.
who's streaming from where and
Shout
how
out
many
to
people are watching?
Blueberry Street. Welcome,
I'm sure
welcome,
the people who are
welcome
watching
to
this
the
stream want
party.
to
Very
know like
good
some
to
interesting
see you.
shit.
Trying to
If we
make
could.
lemonade out of
Babe.
this lemon of a
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
guess.
I mean, we
that
could-
guy was
Consider
that guy
that
was
for
still
him.
here.
I
that
wish
guy,
I
'cause he
was
was.
drunk.
Yeah,
I'm
he
too sober
ditched
for
out.
this shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He didn't like the definitions of things, and it was a lot of my preferences. You know, shout out to Emmett, and that's pretty much it. You know, and that's all right. You know, he can have his own bias and preference. He can have his own opinions. He may think that someone's a grifter, but definitionally speaking, that's not accurate. And no one was able to really contend with me pointing that out. So I'll just take that as a W, and I think that it'd be more productive to just move on. We can get a new
And to
topic
piggyback
or
on that, we'd also all
something
agree
like
that Jacob is a part of the Semitic problem in the world that needs to be fixed.
We're not going down that path.
I'm not sure how it was related, but I guess we'll
Don't
throw that
force
in.
me to.
Where's that?
force me to
Where's
get
the
it.
egg roll guy? Where's the egg roll guy?
I don't
Who's
know.
the who's the
I don't-
egg roll
look
guy?
under your bed,
I don't
dude.
even know.
Yeah, I'm not
I
sure.
don't even know who you're talking about.
Look under your
There is
bed.
no. Yeah.
The egg roll guy?
You were making fun of us
Sure
for being
that is.
old, but you're 30 and you're crashing out at home in a gamer chair by yourself right now.
I mean, and my bitch is making me dinner right now. So
Put her on camera. Let's see.
listen, at the end of the day, this girl has 2 black guys from a black guy.
She
There's
just
an
showed her
Indian
eyes. She
Jesus
just showed her
guy
eyes.
that looks like fucking Russell.
This is an
Brand.
80 IQ
And you
argument.
guys are all crying about
Hold on.
Aldi. What's up? There's a fake rabbi that has smaller arms than me right next to me. Section, you're cool. You're a real ass motherfucker.
Base.
Doing this again?
Babe.
Alexander, you're all right. I mean, actually, you're actually gay. Never mind. Confluence,
Yeah, that was the guy that
you're
muted you.
cool.
Fingers up.
At the end of the day, I'm making
Can
you
you
really
motherfuckers
hear
money.
the panel?
I really be doing
Can
this
you
shit.
hear the panel?
Don't talk to me.
Can
Don't
you
talk to
hear
me.
the panel?
What the fuck?
I'm not gonna lie. If you don't start in
Aldi, if
Yes,
the definition of having two black eyes is by wearing glasses,
No.
you have 2 black eyes by 2 14-year-old girls that punched you in the face and left you with their tricycles at the side of the schoolyard.
Oh,
yesterday
damn.
afternoon.
Look at him.
He does have 2 black eyes.
Holy
Oh my
fuck.
god, isn't it almost like removing the glass?
So I'll have to do this and move it over, but we got it. All right.
Glasses
What'd
on.
you just say to me, you little shit?
You can see that you. What does it look like when you can, like, see how stupid someone is based on how their eyes
Yo,
look?
I don't want to say this shit to you because I don't like disrespecting women.
Yes,
But at
it's
the end
okay.
of the day,
That was the frustration that I thought I was muting the site. So like I don't know why it still comes through, but I meant to quiet them so that I could talk to you like this. Yeah, I mean, hey, it's Sunday night, whatever. Yeah, I've been trying to fucking change it up and get back into. We had a good topic from Seth. Was talking about this. I'm trying to get back in there, but it's tough. It's tough.
Aldi, how did it feel to be sprinkled?
You need room to escalate.
Aldi, how did it feel to be sprinkled?
Aldi is a shitty grocery store, by the way.
I just wanted to say, how did it feel to be sprinkled with the sperm of 9 other men when your mom was pregnant with you? Like, how did that make you? Did that moisturize you?
What is this? Is this like your thing? Is this like a tick? What does this mean?
I don't know. I think it's a gang sign.
You do that like all the time.
Yo,
what does that mean?
So did Weird Al Yankovic teach you how to be a gangster? Is that where you learned?
He looks like Andy Samberg and Adam Sandler had gay sex with Bert Kreischer.
It is true.
Shit. Shit, that's true.
With 2 black eyes.
And then Dick.
Ooh, you guys got me. Cool, you guys got me.
Oh, okay. Thanks, J-Mon. Filling me on the lore.
Boit.
So how about that topic?
That joke was so funny. I forgot how to laugh.
Bottom
Do
of
we want to talk
YouTube.
about religion or?
Yo, Indian Jesus. Why would
should we go back to the topic
about religion with you when you make a mockery out of religion?
Saying,
look at your eyebrows; they look like my mustache.
Does any of the
Shut your bitch ass up?
Does any of the panel have
You don't
arguments
really have a mustache.
or doubts about God's morality?
Oh no,
any
that's
specific-
hair, not shit. Never
He was
mind.
asking, is God the absolute morality?
Can we get a paternity test from Stacy for Aldi? Because I'm starting to see a little bit of
Can
some
we
similarities.
get a motherfucker to talk without like
Casey's been
stuttering?
good. Casey's been nice.
Can we get a motherfucker to talk without stuttering? Shut your bitch ass up, Indian Jesus.
I
Bitch!
wasn't even talking, you fucking retard.
That was Rabbi. By the by,
Oh,
in case you don't know, in case you can't tell who's talking, by looking at
It's actually Grand Rabbi Mendelbaum. I'd appreciate you to put some respect on my name. The only way I can get any time on the Confluence panel is if I'm a
Rabbi
Jew.
Mendelbaum.
I mean, that may be true, but
What was Elijah? What was the question that your audience asked about morality? That seems like a better direction to go than whatever's happening.
Do any of the panel have any arguments against or doubts about God's morality in any specifics? Is there anything about God that isn't perfectly moral?
No, definitionally no.
yeah, I would agree with that.
Well, I don't know. Maybe.
Because I don't
Like,
I
there's-
think you would have to say yes, right? Because I think whether you believe or you don't believe, the basis of what your what the faith is that's like the bedrock, right?
Yeah, like I think a separate question, I guess, like because there is stuff in the Old Testament I find untoward, but I would just like nuance that away and like talk about metaphors and stuff.
Right, but imagine
Can you give an
that you
example?
didn't nuance it away, right?
like the slaughter of the Amalekites. I know there is obviously apologia that people run for that, but I'm not super down with that. I think I'm more fine being like, yeah, this is probably an untoward thing. I don't know if this is meta. I think there is like an anagogical interpretation about like our higher end state of like cutting out all sin and excising all of that, and I think Amalek represents sin. The literal story, though, it seems like a little hard to swallow.
So this will be the point where I'm gonna bow out because theology and Orthodox catechumen, human female. Have a great night. Confluence, thanks for having me on, gentlemen. I hope you look at this tomorrow. I hope you review
I guess I
every
understand
single.
that you can't say.
Take
but
care.
I was curious to
Have a
hear
good
your
night, Paige.
thoughts. Take care.
Christ
Yeah.
is risen.
He's
Base.
risen
Yeah.
indeed.
That was like,
Oh yeah, it's Orthodox freaking Easter, right? For like
Amen.
them or something.
oh yeah.
Stupid bitch. Yeah, fuck that stupid bitch. We don't need
You've
her.
been sitting there doing like a weird homo fucking mating ritual over there in the corner. I don't know what
He
the hell you're
is.
talking about.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yo,
I'm
can I
looking
just
at
say one
myself.
thing real quick, bro? Like Confluence,
Bro, you look like Scar from The Lion King. I don't want to hear you, bro.
Again, you want to talk about looks, motherfucker?
You're scared of fucking cow meat. You're scared of a steak. You're Indian. You're scared of a steak, bro.
Okay,
Don't talk to me.
Wonder, is he just a racist and sexist
So
person?
any day now, when you want to say
It
something,
seems
that
like he's.
I am
fine with all the white
racist.
people.
I am racist.
He's fine with all the white
Fuck.
people. He just picks up the Indian.
He's on
Like, even
Rumble.
when the
He's
white guy
definitely
Yeah, how many
racist.
viewers?
He
How many
blames the
viewers?
Indian for it.
There's an extra grip you have to do with the
How many viewers?
racism.
Couplins, how many viewers?
24.
Wah, wah, wah. 600, bro. I got 600 viewers. Oh, 600 viewers. What a fucking loser.
God, there he goes again.
He's doing the thing.
I swear to
need like
God,
a little.
does
I
he-
need some like
do you
hand
have a
signs.
smell-
And I
Yeah, you
can
gotta do the
every, like,
move for it.
Do you have a smelling disorder? Is that what it is?
Tell
That's
me
true.
more, Aladdin.
I have to
That's
ask.
not
where
even the
are
right
you from?
race. That's not even the right race. You gotta get your racism on point, Aldi.
Where do you even come from? That you,
Okay,
like, speak this
fucking
way?
That was a
Hold on,
I'm
let
going
me.
to play
Hold
for
on,
anyway, how about that
What the
topic?
guy's name is. Hold on. I got one for you, Confluence. Hold on, motherfucker. I'm gonna mute myself. I forgot who it is.
You feel like,
It's not
like
gonna
the
be
most
slurring.
albino gangster
Oh,
I've ever met in my life.
So how about that topic, Confluence?
The albino gangster.
Well, yeah. I don't
No
even know
dead
what
air.
topic-
No dead air.
Topic we're
Well-
on. I guess. What does anyone else? Oh, I guess.
Well, Confluence.
Elder, do you have that Orthodox thing where you can't talk theology too? I fucking hate all that gay shit, man. Well, not like
That's
not
not
that
an Orthodox
Church is
thing.
gay.
That is not an Orthodox.
That is some gay shit.
It is an Orthodox
just
thing.
like,
but
I
if
just
you're not
wanna hear-
catechized, you're not supposed to talk about theology.
I just don't know why you can't be like,
You
hey, I'm
actually-
not
you
speaking on
actually
behalf of the
can.
Orthodox Church.
You actually
This is
can.
just
Then
my
they'd be proven
opinions.
wrong.
Why? I don't understand why that's not a positive. If you just hedge it, just be like, yeah, I'm not speaking. I have no authority. This is just my thoughts.
Because
I don't know
then
why
they
that can't be.
wrong. If we don't talk about it, I can't be wrong.
Yeah, I don't think they're supposed to speak on behalf of the church, but I think they can still give their own personal opinion if they caveat it first.
Yeah,
that
but
was my
the
understanding.
idea-
I could be wrong, but
Well, this
I
is the
know
whole
a
idea.
couple of
So set
bishops,
this-
and
set this-
they don't
bring
have
us
any
back to the
problem
prompt.
with people talking about.
All right,
their personal
Indian
opinion.
Jesus. Let's hear what
Well,
you
this
have
is
to
the
say.
idea. When you're
Fucking
talking about
bitch.
Well, hang on,
about
Elder.
theology,
Gray-haired bitch.
So
Go
when
ahead.
you're talking about
One
theology
at a
and you're
time.
trying to
One
give
at
an
a time.
opinion. Jesus.
Well, Elder, talk.
But when you're
One at
trying
a
to talk
time. Let
about theology,
Indian Jesus talk. One at a
No,
time.
we're going to Elder. We're going to Elder.
when we're trying to talk about interpretation or theology, yeah, there's times where I do talk about it, but I probably really shouldn't.
And you.
But
I want to know your number. It's not smooth. I had to do all that, but hey.
the whole idea of not talking about it is not to misrepresent
I
God
tried.
himself.
And failed.
There's only a type of interpretation that you can't get from the priest. If you're not catechized and if you're not authorized to give that opinion, then you could give the wrong opinion. You could misguide somebody. They would go off the path. And that would be essentially your fault.
Mm-hmm.
But you're not talking about guiding people. You're talking about an online debate.
All
where people are
theology
gonna-
and all
Hold
interpretation
on.
is guidance.
No, hold on. No,
It's teaching.
people are debating and saying things that are bullshit. So you, because you're not allowed to interpret, you're
Yo,
supposed to be
Confluence,
quiet
stop
and let the
sucking your
bullshit
fingers,
stand.
please.
Is that what
Yeah,
you're
because I
telling
could
me?
make
It's
it
the
worse.
sins, brother.
You're not. You cannot make it worse than some of these people.
Yeah, I could.
Especially if you believe you have the right answers, you could be the threshold of whether someone is led down the correct path or the wrong path.
But your voice may also lead. The lack of your voice.
No, then I'd never be able to panel.
Want to do the intentional act or the unintentional act?
I mean, I suppose if you want to absolve yourself of responsibility, sure.
That's the thing, because you could also say something that's like helpful and like could positively affect someone's life.
You could.
How would I know that unless
Well,
I
and
was catechized
also-
in the church and I knew
You would
about
know
it.
I don't
either
think you
way.
need to
I would
be-
actually
I don't
appeal
know,
to the
like-
section of the Bible that says that you're not supposed to just sit idly by for fear of things. That's actually not good.
You're supposed to.
Well, yeah,
spread the
you're not
message of
supposed to be
God,
scared.
right?
But the thing is, like, there are things that you can do that are either evil or lesser evil, and you can't really commit a
Confluence,
lesser evil.
I'm out, bro. Thank you for having me on. I'm out of here, though.
God bless.
Thanks for letting me on, big dog.
God bless.
Telling people what the Orthodox Church thinks about something when that's not true would be misguiding people. Telling someone what your opinion is on something that is said in the Bible is not guiding people.
Yeah, it would be putting my authority over the church.
You don't have an authority. You're an online person. Nobody knows or cares about.
If I have no authority, then there's no point talking about it.
What do you need authority to talk about? It's a
The
debate.
the most important thing on the face of the planet, which is finding Christ and salvation. And if I lead you off by even just a little bit, then that's my fault.
And
I don't want to be responsible for that.
Advice.
It's my fault for what I do and what I say.
I get the desire, but it's also like, I guess the thing I can't remember who said the trolley thing. Is that you, Big Soda? Because I would agree with that. Like, it's, yeah, you don't want to be, I understand you don't want to like mislead somebody, but if you have an opportunity to guide someone into the truth, and like you're like, and it feels like it's a mistake to not do that, you know?
Then I use philosophy and I give necessity of truth and why the truth is located there.
But
no, but like, why? Like, I understand
that's where you can
the
find
more
it.
complex things, but like, why not preach Jesus? Like,
to validate it.
That seems like if someone wants to know about Christ and you're like, I'm sorry, I can't tell you about Jesus. That just feels crazy to me, right? Like that
I
feels
am
crazy.
by telling you to go to
He
the
can
church.
guide you to someone who
No,
can't.
you're not, because
I know, but
most
like,
people
how
don't
many
have a church
people,
to
if
go
you
to.
just say, like, how many people when they just get told, go talk to your priest, go to the Orthodox, how many people are like, okay, I'm going to do that? Like, usually, if you give them something compelling, they're far more likely.
Well, usually you introduce them to the priest. It's like on an online sphere, you can't really be like, hey, can I? Here's my priest. Talk to him. And you can generally just say, hey, this is something a priest would know. So if you are genuinely curious, there's someone who can explain it to you.
Listen,
and I think that only works if you're already super interested in orthodoxy. But if you're just like a seeker in general, are you actually going to find that Orthodox church? Go talk to that priest. Like this, you have an opportunity in front of you. If someone's asking you, I feel like there is some onus. So I totally get what Elder, what you're saying about the trepidation. But the other angle of that is like this is an opportunity that maybe God has put in front of you to talk about Christ. And it just feels like a missed opportunity if you're like, yeah, no, can't do that.
And I'd just tell them where he's located. I wouldn't go off and describe things I don't fully understand. That you'd give them a warped idea of it. And
I know, but
then they end up being
confident on, right?
fucking
like,
non-denominational dude just coming up with his own ideas about it.
I get that. I get that you probably.
That's why we need to go with my ideology. It's not done yet, but it will be amazing. It will be amazing. Stay tuned.
Stuff, and maybe you're comfortable saying that stuff. I guess I don't know what your line is.
I wouldn't even do that because AI is not trustworthy and accurate on everything that it describes.
I didn't say AI. I didn't say AI. I said like the Orthodox has websites that you could even verify yourself and make sure you're saying like correct stuff.
Yeah,
like, you could
I do that, but I don't
like,
do that for other people because I don't know if my interpretation of what they're saying is even correct.
I believe.
But then, how do you know once you're catechized? Then I don't really. It's not like you. It's not like everything a catechized person says
You
is
have to
correct
also be
now.
authorized for apologetics.
Like people say that Andrew Wilson was given some dispensation by like somebody to talk, but it's like it's not like everything he's ever said about Orthodox stuff is just guaranteed to be correct because someone gave him a dispensation to speak on it. He can still make mistakes as well, obviously.
Yeah, and you would be called out, and then eventually, if you continue down that, that's when you would start to cross into either heretical or blasphemous. So there's the opportunity to be corrected on it.
Yeah, but you could still miss in the same way that Elder's talking. Andrew Wilson, even with his dispensation, could mislead someone horrifically, right? He could not be understanding something fully.
Well,
so it's like that risk is always there.
But it's whether I guess you follow it or not. It's if you would rather not mislead people from the get go, then you just would avoid talking about it. Just give you the resources on how to find it.
Well,
yeah, I find
leave
that
them with nowhere
lacking.
to go. Right.
Because again, I just come back to unless someone's specifically invested in the Orthodox Church, I don't think just saying go talk to an Orthodox priest, there's not going to happen. Like if it's someone like Lutch, for example, who Lutch is interested in different religious ideas, asks a lot of religious questions, but he has no specific drawing to the Orthodox Church. So trying to convince Lutch I can talk to Lutch and give my perspective on religion, and he will listen to that. But if I say, Lutch, go to this specific church, it's like telling someone, go read this book. Unless they have a specific interest already and really want to read that book, they're not going to read that book in like 99.9% of cases.
I mean, that's true. I mean, don't disagree with that.
Jim Bob, he was like, you got to just go to a liturgy, go to a liturgy. And one of my viewers was planning to be in this area, and he's like, well, I'm going to church anyway, so I'll bring you with me. And it seems like a cop out. It seems like a cop out to be like, I don't have to explain anything to you. And again, to me, it sounds like let's bake in that you don't have to talk to anybody so that they can't prove you wrong.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you can't talk about it, then you shouldn't give anything on it.
Well, this is the thing. Like, you can give philosophical arguments that aren't necessarily.
Do you understand the philosophical arguments as well as you need to be able to?
Yeah, because the philosophy is way easier than theology.
But couldn't that mislead someone as
well?
That
mislead somebody away from the church?
No, because there's
That's
always
the question of whether you know the philosophy.
Do what?
But is that philosophy approved by the Orthodox Church? Are you confident you're representing the philosophical argument correctly? Like, it's philosophy can very quickly lead into theological implications, right? I think we all know that.
Yeah, they can, but the theological arguments are like literally direct revelation from Christ carried through by the apostles. So when you misrepresent what that is, the interpretation of the scriptures and the traditions of the church, what you're doing is you're misrepresenting Christ. You can give a philosophical argument. You could accidentally give a bad one that's unconvincing to people, but it's not the same sort of thing. And
yeah, I see what you're saying.
But even with when you're talking to people, you can't really worry about like necessarily convincing them, because some people they just take everything as bad faith as they possibly can. So it's like pointless even trying to talk to them about it. They've already been given the advice. They've already been given what you can do. So at that point, what's the point of even?
You're trying to provide advice again. We're not asking for advice. We're asking for a discussion on the topic.
No, I'm saying this is what I see. This is what I do.
You provide advice?
No, he's saying that's his opinion on how he handles it, on how he chooses to handle it. Not everyone wants to proselytize in the first place, and they don't have to.
Well, no, you don't have to, but then you shouldn't provide anything.
Yeah.
Well,
about theology, he's saying he doesn't.
Yeah. I mean, he could talk about the things he knows, but when he starts getting into theology, he's going to revert back to talk to someone who's ordained by the church.
So
talk to someone who knows what they're talking about.
Yeah.
So shout out to Seth, said if you transfer the authority in you to know God's word to the church, how do you affirm the church is holding true?
That's just appealing to sola scriptura, concept that I don't believe in. I believe that the scripture, the scripture itself and the church are indistinguishable from each other. You can't have one without the other.
Wait, so what's the contradiction? Sorry, can you run that by me again?
No person is capable of reading the scripture and understanding it appropriately unless they have the keys, which are handed down from Jesus' apostles, or at least from John, I guess.
But I think
or Paul. My bad, Paul.
Peter.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Seth. This is not me. Paul. So my interpretation of what Seth said, but it sounds like he's talking about how do you come to know that whatever you choose as your church authority is what it's supposed to be.
Christology and the logical consistency of it.
Sorry?
Christology and the logical consistency of it.
This is where we get into apostolic succession. So they would say apostles who were the apostles taught their fellowship, and then their fellowship taught down, and then this is the continuous line of that. So out of all authorities that all Christian sects have, they not only have sola scriptura, which is the understanding of the Bible, but they have the apostolic succession of being taught this through generations.
Fair enough.
Well, it's not even really
It's like if
taught,
we're
it's
all
more
appealing to the
preserved.
same thing, like their appealing would have circumstantial evidence more than just saying, "Oh, this is what I see in the Bible and this is what I interpret." It's like an outside justification.
Yeah, so not just appealing to your own personal interpretation of what you think the Bible means. You verify that with people who have a long-standing tradition that stems all the way back to the original writers of the text, so that they can verify that what you interpreted as is actually what was meant, because they spoke the same language as the people back then. They know exactly what it meant. They were around at the time.
And you also believe that the Holy Spirit is alive in the church, so there would be a divine
Seth,
guidance for the church that doesn't exist within.
Seth, why don't you come up? Because I don't think I'm doing a good job of demonstrating what you want said. And I'm having a little trouble finding. But come on up. Yeah, you here, I'll drop the link. I'll drop the StreamYard link to his thing.
He is a snore stream.
Either that or he's peeing and forgot to tell everyone. You can check by the tinkling sound.
He likes to bump up his viewership by just let it keep going.
Yeah, so Seth, that's the panel to come up on.
I guess here's what I'm going to say about
Yeah,
it.
Lutch, you're muted if you were talking to us. You might just be
I
talking
was
to your
peeing,
streamer. I don't know.
and I did forget to tell everyone.
Busted. Busted.
We can hear it.
Got him. Wait, what?
But
What
it
is
is Conference's
Seventh-day?
bedtime, so
It is, I
conversation's not
know.
done anyway.
It's honestly, it's way past
It's
your
earlier
bedtime.
every single fucking night at this point. Dear God.
It's usually 10:45 to 11, and I gotta call it quits on days I have to wake up for job fluence.
Job fluence is about to be grumpy in the morning.
There was no water sound. You can't hear me peeing. It's impossible. Everyone claims you can hear the tinkles. If you listen, it's not possible. It's not possible. But I'll
We
send
already
you
proved it was
Lutch,
possible.
Lutch, if you're gonna be live for a bit.
I'm gonna knock you out when you close it down.
All right, Elder Line, are you going live?
Yeah, I can.
Is this gonna be like last time where I asked you and then you took 10 minutes trying to set
no,
it up
my
and
internet.
then you eventually just dropped?
Well, no, you kept asking me, and I kept trying to get my internet to work, and it wouldn't. My
Yeah,
internet's
no.
working fine today.
Not much you can do there.
All right. Well, I'm gonna drop out then. Always a pleasure to hang out with you guys. And until next time, we are out of here.
Take care.
All right. So, thank you so very, very much for hanging out, Seth. Sorry if I didn't do a very good job of demonstrating what you were trying to say. I think this is a good format for me personally to talk about religion, because I don't like doing like my Monday, Wednesday, Friday streams live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Wait, did I do what? Oh, you know what it is. But I definitely tried. Jennifer said, what we need to worry about is the Noahide laws. I don't know what that is. What is Noahide? Noahide laws. What's that? Ah, what is this freaking... Why are we not in dark mode? Okay, anyway. The 7 laws of Noah, the Noahide laws, are a set of universal moral imperatives derived from the Talmud and Genesis, which Jewish tradition considers binding up all humankind. They provide a basic framework for just, ethical, and civilized society, offering a pathway to righteousness for non-Jews. Well, there you go. I think there's a lot of that. Another part of the frustration of the religious talk is that there's so much good stuff in different religions. It's having a particular religion and adhering to that specific religion dogmatically. That's where the issues usually come from. Trump converted to Judaism, I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised. He said, who was the saying he wasn't going? So I can't read this thing. Who was saying he wasn't going to read and understand the Bible himself? Just trust leadership. I don't know. I don't know if that's what anybody was saying. If you're talking about Seth, who was in the chat, I think he was asking how you know that, like, let's say you choose Church X as your church, and Pastor Bob. How do you determine that that person is correct? And so they were talking about the apostolic procession and all that kind of stuff. The guy on the panel, I don't know. Who's gonna read the Bible just to trust the church leadership? I'm not sure, but sounds pretty Christian-y to me. Don't read, don't learn, just listen to what they tell you. No, I'm messing with you guys, and I think that is before that Aldi dude came in and destroyed the fucking panel. We were having a good discussion, and I think what Vibe said about having he's a Christian, but he looks at these things from a scientific perspective first, and he finds that his faith is then backed up. I think that is a much more intellectually honest way to go about stuff like this. And as I was saying to him or I tried to say, that if people were more willing to do that, then I think both sides would, maybe be able to take their guard down a little bit and be willing to concede little pieces here, concede little pieces there. Even, before Seth was asking about, can God be imperfect or not completely moral? And like, they have to say no. But if they're willing to engage and then I don't know, and then they come to the conclusion that no, God must be all that is good. That's a very different thing than just say no, must be this, must be that. They told me this, and even if the conclusion is the same, the journey, that's what really matters. The journey is different, and the mode of thinking throughout that could be very beneficial to somebody who is a non-believer who maybe doesn't have the strongest value set. Leftist hedonists. Like, I agree that people like that should definitely act more like Jesus. But just saying you need Jesus, that's not going to help anything. Jennifer said, yeah, right. The older I get, the less patience I have for morons. Don't make it your job. Jennifer said, all the presidents in the U.S. since Bush Sr. Signed this law under Education Day to worship Jesus is idol worship, punishable by beheading. In this country, it's law not acted on yet. What? There's no what? What? Give me the a name or some way to Google this. How do I Google what you're talking about? This sounds a little off. That is a queer, indigenous, disabled, trans. Have you guys seen the MMIW G2? Hold on, let's see. Before we check this shit out. The you thought LGBTQIA2S, you thought that was too much. They're doing a whole other thing now. I think it's GWI. No. LGBT. Let's see what that gets us. God damn it. Longer LGBT acronym. Oh, that's how you spell it. Come on. Back to YouTube. Nope, that's not what we wanted to do. What the hell? God damn it. This might actually be it. Okay.
Prime Minister Carney is cutting $7 billion between Indigenous Services Canada and Crown Indigenous Relations. They provided $0 to deal with the ongoing genocide of MMIW, G2S, LGBTQIA+.
What? Hold on. I sped that up. We got to shorten that back down. Holy.
They provided $0 to deal with the ongoing genocide of MMIW, G2S, LGBTQIA+.
One more time.
Ongoing genocide of MMIW.
MMIW, G2S, LGBTQIA+. And I think I know all of them. So I think it's missing and murdered Indigenous women. I forget. I don't even know what it is.
G2S, LGBTQIA+. This is abhorrent. This is callous.
Socialist Canadian lawmaker Leah Gazan drew gales of mockery for showing just how woke she is by casually dropping an absurdly long 16-character LGBTQ acronym while speaking at a press conference. Gazan uncorked the new ultra-lefty term while bemoaning $7 billion in budget cuts to a pair of federal Indigenous departments. They provided $0 to deal with the ongoing genocide of MMIWG2S LGBTQIA+, she said with a totally straight face.
You're not going to tell us what it stands for?
And impressively, without so much as looking down in her notes. The 16 characters stand for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women, Girls.
Okay, there we go. Missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, and two-spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, and asexual. Plus.
Notes. The 16 characters stand for Missing and Murdered Indigenous Women, Girls, and Two-Spirit, lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, and asexual, with the plus sign encompassing any other gender identity not covered by the nearly paragraph-long initialism.
Yeah, but it already had a plus. It already was LGBTQ+. So why do we need the other letters if you have the plus? And so essentially all this is not men. Anyone who is not a white man.
The gigantically long acronym is used by the Canadian government to highlight rates of violence against Indigenous women and girls. Gazan later took to X to tout her appearance at the press conference, in which she scaled back the acronym to the Canadian standard, 2S LGBTQIA+. She was immediately mocked online, even locking down comments on her X post to prevent the ridicule from spreading. New super strong suggested password just dropped, one user wrote. The real stumper here is that they seem totally unaware of how ridiculous they sound, another commenter mocked the far-left lawmaker. Is that an acronym for something, or did she just have a stroke? A third inquired. The lefty MP faced controversy in 2022 with an X post baselessly and incorrectly claiming the US aid being sent to Ukraine was being sent to anti-Semitic, neo-Nazi, and fascist militia. The Ukrainian Canadian Congress asked for a retraction and apology, which Gazan did not provide. The MMIWG2S LGBTQIA+ fiasco also isn't the first time Canada has gone viral for making up a mouthful of an acronym to represent the gay and queer communities.
Oh my God.
In 2017, the Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario went viral for a flyer advertising a LGBTTTIQQAAPP inclusiveness training session. That acronym stands for lesbian, gay, genderqueer, bisexual, demisexual, transgender, transsexual, two-spirit, intersex, queer, questioning, asexual, allies, pansexual, and polyamorous.
Insane. So I just had to go pee, and I was like, all right, let me get back quick. And I have the old laptop that I ran the show on for a while because of all the different the different ports. I need a USB-C that actually works through a regular USB adapter. So anyway, I'm watching Lost, Chronological Lost on that laptop, and I just walked into it and knocked it on the fucking ground. So, I mean, luckily we've got this one. Luckily, I've got this computer now, but I will be very, very upset if I just fucking bodied that laptop. Oh man. Oh man. All right. So, I was hoping that, like I said, they brought up Jesse on Fire. I told you, people know who he is. Yo, people know who he is. And I'm still working on it. I want to see where he really can come in with this theory that Charlie Kirk is alive and all these things. And I'm sure as shit not going to just let him, say whatever the fuck he wants to say. I mean, he could say whatever the fuck he wants to say, but I'm gonna have pushback if he says something doesn't make sense. And I purposely haven't looked too much into what he's been saying because I want to have that conversation fresh. So the only thing is if he pushes even further, boy, you're right in the light. If he pushes even further and it kind of, isn't as fresh, then what we can do is go through his whole series and, see what kind of stuff he's saying. I'll pull out some clips and then we'll have him answer to those clips. What do you think of that? So also remember, May the 4th. May the 4th. I'm going to be starting a stream here on YouTube. And it's going to be from my phone. So it's just going to be me on the screen. Here, just in the same exact way it looks right now, in the same way it looks on YouTube, it is going to be this on Rumble, but we're going to be starting the original Star Wars trilogy. You got to pee, Morty? All right. We got to bring Morty outside. Leave the lights on. What? Press 1 to deport Wake Up Mind. Guys, thank you so very, very much. Shout out to TV Viewers, Indie Film, Funk, Master General, and our boy Seth. Thank you so very, very much, guys. Remember, I will be live again tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. As always, make sure you are there. And Morty loves you all. Once again, this laptop's a lot heavier, so it's a lot more. Once again, that is Morty, and I have been your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of Common Sense. Again, guys, if you are new, please do hit that subscribe live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and just like right now, sometimes whenever I feel like it. So have a good one. And of course, you guys know that YouTube sucks with those notifications, so you may as well ring the bell so you never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. Thank you. Until next time, we are out of here. Oh, that's not the right button. We are out of here. Peace.